where do we start? There's so many things that happened in the past week. We
We haven't recorded in a long time.
we haven't recorded a long time. Number one.
So a lot of things happened.
I've always been available.
Just blame it on us.
We know you are.
Hey, and your children too have activities now.
Oh, you know what it was?
This is what happens.
You know
Hello.
You know what it was? The big one graduated. That's what
Yeah.
it was. So we've been a little busy with graduation stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know if we ever talked about it, but our eighth grader, he just graduated middle school. So they had all these eighth grader type of things that they do, like a dance and things like that. Oh my goodness, these kids.
They look so cute in their suit and tie.
And their suit and tie and stuff.
With their dates.
Oh, you want to hear a funny story?
They had dates?
Well, my son didn't.
Yeah, he did.
He's smooth like his dad,
Yeah.
So I'll share with it. I'll share this story, right? So there were 3 girls who in their class who they're friends. They made a pact that they were all going to get boyfriends before they graduated 8th grade. These 13
Shut up. All right, that takes me back to junior high. Okay.
Right?
I didn't make a pact, but
so on the same night, they all reached out to their crushes. I don't even know.
They picked.
They picked the boy.
Picked the boy.
And I don't even think they like these boys, right? But in any case, one of these girls,
just for heck of it.
So one of these girls reached out to the boy and it's like, "Hey, you want to be my girlfriend?" And the boy's like,
Boyfriend.
"Oh my god!" It's like
Boyfriend.
my dream came true. I'm like, how did you know? I like you too, right? So the boys like had a crush on her the whole time and everything too. It's like,
but did she actually like him?
I don't think so because I was there at the dance.
Oh, this is like a movie where something terrible is gonna happen afterwards.
I got roped into the dance, right? So like I was there as the media person and
the introvert. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the introvert. Yeah, for sure. And no, they were not dancing at all. They were nowhere near each other. These two. And
boys on this side, girls on this side, and
it was like a bar mitzvah.
I was going to say that, like a Jewish wedding.
Yes.
So and then the other one, there was another girl. She's like, "Hey, let's get this done tonight, okay?" Like she called the other boy, like, "All right, you're gonna be my boyfriend and whatever."
Okay.
I was like, "Okay." The boys are like, "Oh, okay, right."
Last day of school because she knows she's not going to see him again.
I know. Yeah.
So anyway, that was my life.
That was cute.
Last month, it was really cute. I don't remember things being like that way when I was that age, but
it depends what kind of.
I'm sure it went on.
Yeah, it did.
I wasn't part of that.
Yeah, you were just not aware.
No girls called me.
What I remember, it was papers that were circulating, and you asked,
"Will you be my boyfriend or girlfriend?"
Yeah.
Oh no, that's heartbreaking.
That's all gone
Little
now.
notes. Yep.
I guess they're a little bit more ballsy now. They're just approaching them and saying, "You're going to be my boyfriend."
It's a huge thing. And do you know the other stories, the other couples?
What other couples? What about them?
The other real couples.
You know his class listens to the podcast.
There are a few other like real couples that are dating like throughout the year, and they actually make like these TikTok videos of like asking each other for a dance. It was like this big production. They're like started three boys are sitting around in like one of their basement. They start talking and they're singing like their girlfriend's like favorite songs, and they're taking turns. And then last one's like, "Oh, I kind of like Taylor Swift because somebody likes Taylor Swift. Would you go to the dance with me?" And then,
God.
That's the boys, and then the girls did their take on it, and like it was like funny. I was like, "Oh my god, this is the most adorable thing."
I am so glad social media was not around when I was in junior high school. Like, do they realize that'll live on there forever?
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep.
I'm glad I'm not in high school right now.
Yeah.
If that's what kids are doing nowadays, I don't want to be a part of it.
Well, speaking of dancing on TikTok and all that good
stuff, right? Lead right in.
This is a great segue to today's guest. Anyway, before I continue, you guys ready to start this podcast?
Yes.
Welcome to the Focus AF podcast, everyone. My name is Ben.
I'm Karis.
Jen.
And this is Ro.
And today we are Focus AF. We haven't been recording for a while.
Yeah.
So we're ready to rock and roll.
We're trying.
Yeah.
So today's special guest is someone who's been in my orbit for a number of years, pre-COVID. And she is a planner. But anyway, without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to my friend Amanda Hudes from Miling Through Chaos. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Amanda.
Thanks for coming.
And I have a teenager, and I just said that yesterday.
What did you say?
I said, I am so glad I'm not a teenager right
It's
now.
crazy. All this stuff you got to do to court somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
And
middle
I'm
school,
okay with it.
I did ask a lot of people out. I did do that.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah, middle school is great.
I was oblivious in middle school.
I was too busy
oblivious.
playing
I
video
was like,
games.
okay, you're going to be my boyfriend for the next couple weeks.
So school's over.
They were like, sure.
Yeah, I was totally
So
oblivious.
funny.
But you know, it's so funny. I think they just match up so that they can do TikTok dances
Right.
together. That's really
That's
all they're doing. It's very
crazy.
innocent. It's very funny to watch.
Well, why are you saying it yesterday with your teenager? What are you saying?
I'm just glad we don't have social
Social
media
media,
because we
yeah.
were watching Bel Air.
Mm.
And I really liked the original Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
I like this show, and he loves the show.
It's
Yeah.
darker.
It has, it's risque.
Yeah.
It has swear words every other word,
Mhm.
and they were videoing
Yes.
what was happening, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so
Oh
glad!
my
I'm
God.
so glad
Mhm.
that there wasn't
There
were
no
people
evidence what
videoing.
we were doing back in high
Yeah.
school.
Right.
Thank God.
in college."
Yeah.
College for me too.
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
Thank
But I
God.
think we're all from the same generation where AOL was a thing.
Yeah.
Hey, oh,
AOL
that was
chat
fun.
rooms.
Yes.
oh my gosh, the chat room.
That's where we met.
That's how they met.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Yes.
AOL chat
Yep.
room.
Yes.
Yeah.
A New York City AOL chat.
Many moons ago.
I think I was talking to a 50-year-old man in 7th grade on an AOL chat room
That was
by
the
accident.
that was the concern at that
Right.
time.
Was
Right.
it was it a special Latin group or was it just like a
No, it was just like New York City.
It was New York City, like it was quite
Latinas and
NYC.
Latinos?
No, it was
No.
it was NYC, I think. Just-
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
They had,
That's
they had
huge.
multiple, yeah.
Wow.
That's
I think that
Crazy.
NYC group had multiple rooms.
Yeah, there were
They had, like,
millions
And then
of
you would just
leave,
like
you go-
slide
Yeah,
DM somebody on there.
they weren't DMs.
Yeah, what
They
slide
were
message,
instant
yeah.
messengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
IMs.
I am.
Are we making ourselves old right now?
Well,
Very
we don't-
old.
it's all a secret. That number's secret to all of us. We don't know how old any one of us are.
Right. 27
Uh-huh.
forever. I turn 27 every year.
But the fact that we name draft AOL, I mean,
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. What's AOL? IO?
well, where'd you guys go for your first date then? How'd you guys?
Oh man.
We were 17, so we went to the
Yeah.
movies and McDonald's.
What movie?
Finding
Finding
Nemo.
Nemo.
That's right. So you guys even talked for the first hour and a half, 2 hours meeting each other.
No, like
At McDonald's?
we talked
Yeah.
we talked on the phone and online.
Yeah.
So we knew each other. At least we thought we knew each other
For
well.
like we didn't meet for like 5-6 months. So there was like a lot of talking in between that.
Yeah.
We're both in
Yeah.
relationships.
Outside.
So
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
gotta keep it on the
My
down low.
relationships, in and out, one of those.
Right.
That's hilarious.
But then the first time meeting each other, you guys were quiet for the first 90 minutes because you guys got to watch the
Movie?
movie.
Yeah, we went to the movies and then we went to McDonald's. Not because that was the only thing that was open after the movie
Yes.
finished.
That's
She
the only
always
thing
wants to
that
make
was
sure.
open.
Did you hold hands in the movie?
I don't even remember.
Oh man, I don't remember.
20.
Say, hey, you want some of my popcorn?
I think I had my arm
Or
around
my
you.
hand?
Probably. I don't know. It's like 21 years ago, guys.
The popcorn trick did not happen.
There's no popcorn in here.
little this, little this.
No. Did you have your like your fresh cap with the do
I
rag
did. No,
No.
don't do rag.
Oh,
fresh
my-
cap, fresh cap. Yeah,
with the
fresh
sticker
cap.
still on it?
Yeah, yeah.
This was
That
16?
was the way.
16?
17.
17?
This was in 2003.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
so cute when they were little.
And then you're married.
They took these glamour shots at the mall.
Oh, my
I took
God.
glamour shots
No,
Did you?
together.
with my sister.
At the mall?
You,
At the
you,
mall?
you guys,
God,
these
that
photos.
are
Did you
so-
do the cowboy hat?
No, we had rose
Okay.
petals.
Yeah, they had
We-
rose petals.
They need the glamour shots needs to come back.
They're in the mall. Where
There's
did they?
some malls. Was it Freehold Mall?
Freehold Mall. We saw
Yeah.
them.
Are they as glamorous?
No, they're still as bad, but
They're those are so good.
It's a little more timeless now, I guess. But
yeah, we saw them in the mall. We were like, maybe we should come and like
We should bring that back.
do this
Yes.
for like our
do
anniversary.
what's
do the
coming
You know the retro photos? Like
Do
it
the
could be
wheelbarrow.
like that.
Yeah, like
Right?
photo booth. You know those not like wedding photo booth, but those photo booth little strips of photos.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And do you remember those like little stickers?
Yes.
photos.
Yes.
Yeah, those are coming back.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I see it at like cafes, bubble tea
Yeah.
places. Yeah, it was
Cute.
huge in college for me at least.
Cute.
It's cyclical. The stuff that we enjoy,
Yep.
it's cyclical.
Well,
That's coming
the
back.
90s are
They're in.
back,
Yeah.
which is a little bit scary too.
what kind of fashion
with the
stuff's
fashion
coming?
show.
What kind of fashion
yeah.
stuff's coming back from the 90s?
The baggy jeans for
Bag-
the women.
I love baggy.
Baggy
jeans.
Yeah.
low rise jeans.
Yeah.
That like
But when
goes
did
up
they ever go out of
here.
style?
That was
For a while.
Do you not remember
For a
skinny
while.
jeans for a
Yeah.
long time?
But skinny jeans is not a
skinny
thing anymore?
high rise.
No,
were
no,
for,
no,
like
no.
not even
Well, skinny
still
high,
now.
the mom jeans?
Baggy.
Yeah, those were
Mom
the
jeans are different than
yeah.
skinny, and then baggy is
Yeah,
different.
and
too.
but
There's-
now it's like really
The
low,
whole baggy
low
look.
cut, like
I
yeah.
have-
Baggy shirts, baggy
Yeah.
sweaters.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Oh,
Like
coming
what's
back?
her name?
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
Steve Madden's
what's
back.
what's the singer? Yeah,
Funky
yeah,
Steve
yeah,
Madden.
yeah. Yes.
Oh, Gwen Stefani.
Platforms.
you mean?
shoot.
That's 90s.
No.
She's our in-house fashion person. You guys will get along.
What's her
But
name? Oh shit, I can't think of her name. But yeah, anyway. Go on.
We digress.
No, but I'm
We
saying, yeah,
digress.
That's back.
we digress. We haven't talked anything about
We have
business
to
yet.
ask about
We gotta
Amanda.
we gotta talk about our guest.
Yeah, who she
Yes,
is,
yes.
what she
We're
does.
Well, this is how
This
we
is
roll.
part of what I do.
This is
I
what,
do fashion styling too. So there you go.
This is how we roll.
We don't wear baggy jeans
So
at
anyway,
the weddings, though.
so why don't you tell our guests who you are, what you do, how long you've been doing it, all the things, all the
Yes,
good things.
about
Yes.
you.
Okay.
Let's do your little intro.
My name is Amanda Hudes. I'm originally from New York, but I live in New Jersey. I cannot say I'm from New Jersey. I'm sorry.
Same.
Same. Yep. My business is Smiling Through Chaos, and Smiling Through Chaos is 8.5 now, which is crazy. I've been planning longer. I started in corporate, but I love social as well because you really get to form those relationships. And my love language is appreciation, and get more of that with social, I think. And Smiling Through Chaos, I really thought was good where vendors would understand and clients would understand that name. And it seems that they do because everyone's always like, oh, yes. Whenever I say my business name, they get it. I love color. I come from the fashion world and product development and marketing. I'm obsessed with color palettes and then creating the vision, the story, and then I send that to all the vendors once that's approved. And that excites me. Like being creative and making sure that each one is different and is unique to the couple for weddings or mitzvahs or whatever event I'm doing, but that it really speaks to them. And so that's why I never do duplicates because there's no two people who are the same. So you see a lot of planners, you look at their Instagram or their websites and like everything looks the same.
Yep.
And I get it from a branding perspective, but I guess for branding perspective from me, it's everything looks different. I feel like how do you have two that look exactly the same when you have people who are completely different? So the psychology of it. I'm also a behavior change specialist, health counselor, and a million other certifications, but that help people to stay less stressed and happier. And I have a no assholes policy.
Love it.
I don't know if you saw it. It came about a couple months ago. I put
Is
it on
written
Instagram.
somewhere?
I put it on Instagram. It's in a post.
Oh.
So it's official. It's official. Because
What's the story behind that
well,
one?
there are a few stories.
We just got ourselves another 2-3 hour recording today, guys.
Because to me, smiling through chaos, like I can't smile through chaos if I'm working with people in any capacity who are nasty or are not respectful. So to me, and I have the same policy for myself, right? I'm not going to be, if I'm going to be respectful of you, and it makes a huge difference in your life. I want to love my job. I want you to love your job working with me. So if you're an asshole, then we probably shouldn't work together. And same thing with clients, like not saying they're assholes, but like if we're not in sync, we shouldn't work together because it won't be productive. It won't be enjoyable. And the whole point is, to me, is it should be fun.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't just be fun on the day of. It should be fun throughout the whole experience.
Right.
So that's why I created
What's
that
the
policy.
secret to working with people who align with your brand and your goals?
So having a conversation from the start. I used to say, okay, you can just write me an email and we can book, or we can even have a phone call. Now I'm like, let's Zoom or in person. Let's really see each other's energy, see if you smile, see your relationship. If I know this is like kind of, but if I see their relationship's really bad from the very beginning, I'm not taking them on as a client. I won't. I want to know that my couples who are getting married are like really good together. And I like both of them and I like their vibe and they like me. And like, I can call the fiance, whoever it is, and like the other one won't get jealous or won't feel like, oh, is she going to get like flirty or like, there's none of that. We get each other. There's never any disrespect or competitiveness. I know if I give an idea, if you don't like it, you can say, I'm not in love with that idea, but it's going to be respectful. If you give me an idea, I'll be respectful. We're communicating. Like, that's really important to see from the start.
Yeah.
And from that first conversation. And if it's not great, then we don't work together. And if it's okay, maybe we have another conversation. One thing is sometimes it will be like the bride's mom calling. And so I say, if everyone involved can be on that initial conversation. Yeah, you know about this.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I know about
Beth
this.
has great history with moms.
I did have one
He
about
serves all the moms.
I did have one about a year and a half ago where the mom and I were great. We had a great rapport. She said she was going to be doing the planning with me. And then it ended up that it wasn't going to really be her. It was going to be the bride. And the bride really wanted to do it herself. Like she and her taste level was not at the same level as mine. And I could not put my name on it. And so we had a conversation about like, and she thought, oh, well, I thought you maybe just be supporting her idea. And it's like, no, that's not why you hire a planner. You hire a planner because they have the experience. They know who to work with. They have the creativity and right. So we just decided, okay, you know what? Like we're far enough from it. Let's
break
stop.
up.
Yeah.
I don't have that happen a lot because from the beginning.
Right.
But
yeah, we've had a lot of
I
conversations
think
about
that
that.
is the best.
In the past week.
Yeah, having clarity up front is so
In the
important.
past week.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
This,
Yeah, I know, I know,
this
This
I know,
happened
I know,
last
it's
week
just
with-
funny,
Have
it's
you
just
have you
funny.
read up on the Sepia Bride?
yeah, I have.
You have, right? So
Yeah.
we had a live yesterday for an hour. We talked at length for an hour yesterday, and with another colleague of ours, Chuck Anarino from South Jersey.
I have to watch that. Is
Yeah.
it saved?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
replay.
I
You
have
can
to watch
see-
that.
you can watch the replay. And for those of you guys who would like to also catch the replay, you can find that at benloud.com/FB group. And you can check out the replay where I hung out with Jen and another colleague of ours, Chuck Anarino from South Jersey, where we talked about the Sepia Bride at length. And I think the conclusion that we came upon was, or not came upon, but like we all agreed on was that clarity is so important with your brand messaging, with communication, with making sure that you are aligned, your values are aligned with the clients that you're bringing on board. Because if there's a disconnect there's a misalignment there, that's where you get angry. That's where you get angry couples, unhappy, dissatisfied couples.
And angry couples are worse than no couples.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's
yes.
what we said too.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was telling about an experience we had the past week with a planner who reached out, sent her the info for the wedding, just writes back, "Oh, couple's ready to book." I was like, "Oh no, this is not how this works. Like, I need to meet these people.
Yeah.
Like, we need to hop
That's
on a
good.
call."
Not a lot of people do that.
Like, I'm not walking
everybody.
into a wedding day,
Yeah.
Right.
Not knowing anything.
not knowing anything, and then we hopped on the Zoom. The bride didn't even turn the camera on. Did no basic questions. Was very dry. Like, there was no vibe.
She had no clue what was
No
going
clue
on
was
for the
happening in her wedding. Asked if we still did video, which we never did. Do we have a photo booth? I was like, I told this all to the planner. So clearly you are communicating.
well, the
with
planner wasn't on either.
No.
No.
Interesting. I'd like to hear who the planner is after, please.
And she had emailed me and I wrote back. She
Yeah.
didn't even, she filled out my contact form in the planner. This was boggling my mind. Had the date, no other information. And I would have responded as a bride, but then I noticed the email was like a business account.
Yeah.
So I Googled the business. It was a planner.
Yeah.
So I wrote back, "Are you a bride or the planner?" Wrote back, "I'm the planner." That's it.
it.
That's it. I wrote back, "Okay, so what
And
information?"
this is the difference with smiling through chaos.
I was like, "Okay, well,
Yeah,
what
I don't know how
information do
people
you
could run
need?"
their business like that. And it was just imagine we would have sent the contract out.
Right.
Yeah, I
And
wrote
then
back
show
and I
up to
told
this
her
wedding.
it's just not gonna happen.
I
Yeah.
spoke to a planner about it too, about the bride who you were speaking about. And it's very interesting because I did have one wedding where I've worked with the photographer before, and it was one way. And then this one wedding, they changed the coloring a lot to very different from
The
what
editing was a little different.
the editing was very
Than their
different.
original, regular other photos.
Yeah, and it changed from my color palette. It like completely changed it, and it becomes this awkward like. Do I bring it up? The client was fine with it. I didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But it was a few years ago now. But like, it's in my head of when I see the photos, I'm like, that's so not the brightness and the boldness that it was supposed to be. That the flowers were.
Yeah.
Like, it just looks different. So, and hers was about her skin tone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
her makeup
And her
was a
hair,
little-
yeah.
Because she's in the industry too, so she colors her thing.
And then the makeup artist would be upset too.
right.
So there's a lot of people in the mix who could be upset and not want it posted. But
At the end of the day, we saw the argument from both sides.
yes,
As a vendor and also as a consumer.
yes.
You know, and I think where we also landed was, this could have been prevented on both ends. Okay, on one side, the bride could have done more research to make sure that the portfolio that you saw was something that you liked, that you enjoyed, because based on the grievances that she had with the images that she showed on TikTok, it was very much in alignment with the portfolio that was already being shown, right? So it's not like you went into Taco Bell and you got a burger, right? You got exactly what you thought you were gonna.
And I can't believe she put it on TikTok.
Well, she did. There's 70 videos.
But
I don't
like,
know.
that's to me, if you have a problem, you go to the vendor.
I mean, I think she did.
She
It did,
did.
yeah.
This was
It
7
was-
months
okay.
later.
It was like
Okay.
months.
But she just sat on it
months
for
of
so
months
long.
of going back and forth, and then
Oh, okay.
I guess one
I
day
don't think
she
they
just
found
decided
like a good resolution for both.
No,
ends.
no
That's why
resolution.
the bride went.
Okay.
So I guess she stewed on it and then just was like, oh,
Yep,
today I'm
decided
gonna.
to go on TikTok.
But
But she said she came out to give advice to
Oh, okay.
like
Other
future brides and stuff.
But as a vendor, speaking as a vendor,
Yeah.
when and I think you'll be aligned with us on this one as well, right? When you have you come across a client or potential client who's a little ambiguous about what they want or what they need, it's your job as a professional to kind of dig a little deeper,
Yes.
ask more discovery questions to figure out, hey, listen, what's your vision? What is it that you're trying to do, right? I can't speak for them because I don't know exactly what happened, right? But as a professional, right, if you have someone who doesn't know what they want, and a lot of times you have a lot of couples like, I don't know what I want. I just know that that's pretty, right? But the thing is, you as a professional, you should ask those questions.
100%. 100%. I just had that recently where I was like asking for a bar mitzvah. I was asking him. It's hard at that age. 12-year-old boys, right?
Yeah.
And asking him, and he's like, yeah, that's cool. And I'm like, but we're not going to copy that. I'm just asking if you like that style, right? So it's my job as a planner, definitely, to dig deeper and understand them as a person. And that's why I don't just ask the normal questions of like, what color do you want your flowers to be? I ask, what's your favorite color in general?
Right,
who
right.
are you?
Yeah.
As the initial questions. And when they start to say, oh, like what color flowers do I want? I'm like, no. Nope. I don't even want to know, because I want to create different palettes that then they're attracted to. And it might be completely different. When I go dress shopping with people,
Fun.
It is almost always different than they think
Yeah.
that it's going to be.
Mhm.
And usually when I walk in, I know which dress it's going to be in the very beginning. And I'm like, why don't you just try this one on too? And they're like, okay. Like they weren't going for that. But I could tell their body type and like I know them well enough by then to know their style that they think, oh, that's going to be it. But it's like,
Yeah.
Also, you may love two different styles, and a
That's
lot of people are
amazing.
doing.
I didn't know wedding planners hung out for their dress shopping.
Yeah.
For
I
full
don't think all do.
like I think only like if you do full planning, some include that.
Yeah.
They'll go also like venue shopping with you as well to
Oh, yeah.
pick the venue.
But
and-
some
right.
include it, but don't have the expertise in it,
Yeah.
which is a little scary
that's true
because it may not
they just tag
look best
along.
on their body
Yeah.
type, or it may be like I could tell in 1 second which it could be the same price, which is a cheap lace and which is an expensive lace. Right. And I am a tactile person. So sometimes the dress stores are like, do you have to touch everything? I'm like, I do.
I kind of wish more brides would do that. Will bring somebody who knows what type of dress style would look on them the best, because a lot of them make some bad choices, and it's unfortunate.
Because that falls on you as a photographer.
Yeah.
Oh,
If the
yeah.
dress doesn't fit right.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true. That's true.
Well,
My
Dresses
biggest pet
even-
peeve now are strapless.
Yes, even dresses are not functional. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Yes.
like going to the bath. Like,
And
can you pull it up or down to go to the bathroom?
One bride that wore a dress that bothered me. I still remember because she had this thing on her sleeve, on her.
She couldn't
arm.
raise her arms.
It couldn't raise her arm.
Right.
And it was,
Popping?
no, and it was little like those push buttons. Little
Yeah,
things.
and
And
popped
it
off?
pops, right?
Yeah, it kept popping every.
Wait, that's how it was on?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
so
snaps.
she could
Usually it
remove
snaps.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was like this tiny little thing was not holding. So every time she would like turn, move, it would pop off. I'm like, what is the
Right,
point?
you can't have it like
Yeah,
that
what
in the
is this?
photos.
The whole day.
Right.
What am I, the dress
Just-
popper
just-
person?
just-
Like,
just
me?
take it
Yeah,
off.
I'm like,
That
Take it
was too.
Feel like that's my job now. But also bridesmaids. So I do styling for everyone. I'll do the
good.
groom. I'll do the ring bearer. Like, I want to make sure everybody looks really
I
good.
love the ring bearers
With the baggy suits.
It is actually kind of cute though. Depends on the age. Depends on the. Oh my god,
Their
I don't
pants
have that.
like no hem. It's just like flat like this.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
bad.
They're coming out looking like Steve Harvey.
the ring bearer is always.
But they're so like the flower girl dresses. I mean, people don't know what to do, so they usually just like get a dress,
Just
and it's
go,
like
yep.
no, it has to go with the whole vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do the moms,
Nice.
so I include up to 5 hours, and then people can just add on.
yeah.
And some people want me to just send them online dresses, and some people want me to like.
5 hours of outside the wedding day coverage. Like,
No, just dress shopping.
Oh, just
no, it's a ton of hours for
yeah,
what
I was
I.
like 5 hours seems like an
Yeah,
awful.
that's
but
only
5 hours
5
dress shopping.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know my biggest peeve.
Bridesmaids dresses really need.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
bridesmaids, they need help too.
Because
I know, and they don't always let me go there
they
with
buy
that.
such a cheap material. I'm like,
I mean,
Like we kind of all wanted this, and I'm like, okay,
we're gonna get
I
canceled.
can't.
we're gonna
We're
get.
gonna get canceled, yo.
No, we're not.
Yeah, it is true. though.
professional advice.
Yeah.
It is true.
But you know,
so
my
That's why
biggest
there's
peeve,
other stores doing
my
it.
biggest peeve is like, it's like, oh, I got married and I planned my own wedding. I'm gonna be a planner now.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
okay. Can we talk more about this?
That
I
happens a
think
lot.
I see
Let's
one.
go.
I think
Tell-
I see one every weekend.
tell-
Like
tell-
on previous brides, they
tell-
walk up to me.
Say
Oh,
yeah.
I think
Yes.
I'm planning a wedding now.
No, and the mothers.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
The mothers
too?
sometimes at the wedding. Oh my god. At the wedding, sometimes I'll have like one of my assistants be like, "Oh my god, one of the moms just said she could do this." Like she's like my assistant was doing something and she's like, "Oh, her friend comes over. Oh, I could have done this." Like it's
That
so
drives me
demeaning.
crazy.
It's so insulting. And nobody realizes how many hours and
Yeah.
how much in the background is being done and oh yeah. So there's a ton of people, especially right now, who are like, I'm going to become a coordinator. And they can, yeah, you have a bug on you. And they're like,
You just slap me.
I'll charge so little to just get in, right? So you go on these Facebook groups. I don't know if you guys like
Yeah.
see these. And they're like, I have $500 for whichever coordinator will come in and do this. And I'm like, get your friend to do it. I always say, get a good planner or don't get any
Don't.
planner
Yes.
at all. Same thing for a coordinator
Preach. You could preach on that.
because it will ruin your wedding if you
Yes.
don't know what you're doing. And I mean, I had one time like a DJ lost power. Like if you don't know what you're doing, you
Yep.
just so they're doing this. And so you see, and they're doing this with photographers too. And you see all these people responding, I could do it, I could do it.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is so scary.
There's
because
like 100 people replying.
Yes,
It's
and
all
then you know what
frothing
hap-
at the mouth.
Yeah.
and then you know what happens
It's a race
is
to the
then
bottom.
all of a sudden they're like, the venues are like, we're not allowing coordinators anymore. They do
Oh,
that,
yeah.
some of the venues,
That can help
because
people, yeah.
they have such a bad
Horrible people
experience,
coming in.
horrible people, and also like,
That
what do
makes
you
sense.
think you're
Oh,
getting
man.
for that?
Right.
For that cost? Do you
Mm-hmm.
think you're getting someone who makes 50 cents an hour, right? Who's going to do a great job, or do you want quality?
Yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't even want that. So I started the discussion on Instagram a few weeks ago of like, instead of saying this is our budget for this category, why don't we say for this category, what do I have to spend to get quality? That should be the conversation. Like, where do I need to start to get a good quality photographer, planner, and then start the conversation? And like, if you can't afford that, don't get it.
It's
Yeah.
yes. We tell people like, listen,
All
for
the time.
video,
Video, yep.
even for video, right?
Yeah.
Listen, if you can't afford good video, it starts around 3 to 4. Okay,
Right,
if you can't
right.
hit that number,
Then don't do
just
it.
don't do it.
Yeah,
You're better
just
off buying a camera. You
Get
the-
an iPad.
get a
and
camera,
that's-
give it to
Yeah,
a,
yeah.
give
But
it to a
that's why
family member.
content creators began.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because
Yep.
they're less expensive
Mhm.
And now people are like, should I hire a content creator or should I hire a videographer? I'm like, they're completely different. You can hire both.
Oh yeah.
Or you can hire one. But like they're
different.
They're totally different. So, but that's where it came from.
I was just reading a thing on Facebook. This anonymous person posted, and it's a photographer posted. First time working with a content creator this past weekend.
Oh yeah,
I saw that post.
Yeah, and then I guess content creator at the end of the day gave the bride and groom like an album printed with an album
With
of
pictures.
with pictures,
Sneak peeks.
and
Same
then
day.
and then I guess following day they gave them video,
All the
content and
BTS.
stuff. The photographer was like, yeah, now I'm gonna put in my contract, no content creator because like. And then content creator was shooting, on top of my camera, like right behind me, like
Yeah,
you're
you're setting everything up.
I set up and like so yep. I understand both sides.
I understand
too.
both sides
Yeah.
of that too, because if you want to content, or if as a vendor, like if I want to bring in a content creator to
Right.
watch the behind the scenes,
Right, yep.
like that would stink if I'm not able to, right?
Yep.
But to me, that is all about respect again.
Yeah.
Right.
Like respect each other's positions. Don't cross the line. Like if you're not sure, ask.
Yeah.
It's like very simple. It's
Yeah.
very
Like in no way, shape, or form does a content
I-
creator
but-
description say you're giving them an album at the end of it. Like you're
That's-
digital. Like what are you doing?
Oh.
Printing
Crazy.
photos on the wedding day.
It's
They
like
wanna-
a gift.
They want to
You're
go
dead to
above and
me.
beyond. They
Yeah,
wanna go
above
above
You're
and
dead
and
to
beyond,
me.
I guess. Yeah.
But I
No.
want to play devil's advocate here, right? So, I mean, the times change, the industry changes, right? You want to adapt and you want to stay ahead of these things, right? So, what's to stop us from offering an assistant
creation.
or content creation on
Yes.
our end?
Well,
You
we
know
do.
what I mean?
Designers are doing that
We
now.
do as well.
Yeah.
I've always done. I'm going to kick myself for saying this on.
I mean, if you need
But-
to cut something
no,
out, we'll
it's-
tell. No,
yeah.
we can tell our
Yeah,
producer
yeah.
to cut
Okay.
anything
No,
out.
it's fine. It's
if you
fine.
misspeak,
But-
we're not even
okay.
serving you alcohol right now. So.
Then I would be. But I have always taken video and photos and sent it to them at the end of the night or the
that's
next
fine.
day.
That's okay.
Just because I'm like, in my email, it's like, while you're waiting for the amazing photos from X photographer, here's some just to hold you over.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like, these are not professional.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very clear about that, but it's fun. I've
Yeah.
never charged for it.
Yeah.
It's just part of what we do. I know planners who are charging for
Oh
it
my
now.
gosh, for BTS?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because
And
content creator.
they're bringing someone in as a content creator, right? And one or somebody might also include it. I don't know, but like this is just something that we've done as an over deliverer.
The only thing that I have against everything is like, why does everybody need everything so fucking fast?
Yes.
Social
Right?
media.
It's like they want it
Yeah.
instantly,
Now,
right?
You know, it's a new
now.
generation. You got to understand.
Like, just give me a day. Give me a day. I'll post some teasers.
Okay,
like,
millennial. Okay.
give me a
Okay,
day.
millennial.
You know?
I'm with them on that because if I were, I would love to see like a photo
Yeah.
that day. Like that would make me so happy.
Well,
Just
you're
because-
pretty
I get it.
fast with your sneak
Yeah, we
peeks.
put up within 24
we're-
hours.
Like I'll tell you what, we've never worked with a content creator. No, none of our couples have hired one, and I think it's because we have a content creator here on the wedding day. So I think if you'll see more of it for people that are not doing sneak peeks, people that are not
Right.
Being behind the
posting
scenes.
Instagram stories and showing all that stuff. Those are the couples that, you know what, I want that. I want to see that. So they're hiring content creators. We have yet to see one. And like,
And I
at a
will say,
wedding.
like at the event, so now people come to expect that I'm going to be dancing at their event on social media. On social media, also in stories. If I'm like too busy, they're like, what's going on? So I do
my
that, and
wedding's not good enough for you to dance at?
yes, I have had like why
where's
are you
my,
not?
Yeah, where's my dance?
It's like yeah. So, but it excites them.
Yeah.
But I do tag them so they have something to share also, so they don't feel like that crazy.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I need it right now from you guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
So in trying to help everyone.
Right. I have two stories to share, right? So the first one was, years ago, we used to make fun of our good friend. And he makes a cameo in every episode, our friend Moses Cruz. Right? We used to make fun of him because like he would finish up a wedding and he'd be in the parking lot calling his images so he can have the sneak peeks ready quickly.
Right.
Was he delivering like within the same day or
The same night.
Same night he would have
Same
teasers up.
night if it was like if it didn't end too late, but if it ended late, next
many?
first
Next
thing
morning.
he would like 20
Well,
images.
that's a lot.
He was
Yeah.
quick, and we would make fun of him, right? He's like, "Yo, are you sending them
You're
maternity?
shooting a wedding and you already have your gallery ready. We'd be like,
It's like, are you sending them their
Yeah.
maternity photos already? Are you sending them their family photos already? Like, what's going on? So anyway, so we had to keep up with him, right? So we're doing our sneak peeks a lot earlier, a lot quicker now. I think you've seen some of that as well.
And
right?
handing the gift.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right,
Same day,
right.
same day.
So that's number one.
That's so special.
Yeah. So that's number one. Like we need to adapt to the industry because especially with immediate gratification and stuff like that,
Right.
this new market that we're working in, or not new market, but like this market that's evolving, and
Right.
they want to get that instant gratification. We want to get that stuff out to them as quickly as possible.
And then if you don't do it, others will do it.
Someone
and-
else will do
Yeah,
it.
Right.
Because all their friends got married and they got their sneak
Right,
peeks
right.
quickly.
So-
Yeah.
Right.
And then my wife and I, we back in 2018, we got our 10-year wedding anniversary photos taken, right? And I remember getting those images the following morning. We didn't even wake up yet, and he had posted it. He shared it on social, and we woke up, and oh my god,
Oh, you hadn't seen it yet?
well, that was our first time seeing it.
Okay.
Less than 24 hours later, and we're like, oh my god.
Can we talk about that for a second?
What?
Do you like posting before you share it with the client, or do you like the client to see it for the first time on social media?
We do both. We'll text them, right? You'll text it to them.
I can kind of gauge between my couples on like
Okay.
who wouldn't appreciate me posting it first without sending it to them. So usually I'll do that. It's very rare. 95% of the time we're posting it on social media.
First.
But
Yes.
they know.
Yeah.
But
Like,
they know that's how we.
Okay,
They know
okay.
that's how we roll.
We tell them like
Yeah.
after the
Okay,
shoot
okay.
Yeah.
or after the
Yes.
wedding.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
well, you know my process already,
Yes.
but they get a little gift from me on the night of, and then after they get the gift, that's when I share.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll see the images first, but it gets shared a couple hours
Because
later.
I've been in
Yeah.
that position where I'm like, oh, I'm seeing it for the first time on social media. Like I would have liked to see it before 50 other people saw it when I woke up. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've been more conscious about that for sure. Especially if I know like they're still on their honeymoon or like they're
Mhm.
like traveling. Like I know they're not gonna be phone ready.
Mm-hmm.
I just text it to them.
So
Yeah,
you
that's
send it to them
nice.
first before you share?
If I could gauge by each couple who I know will see it or who I know will instantly see it on Instagram. Because I've gotten so close with them, I know who's like checking their
On
IG
it,
every
right,
10
right,
minutes
yep,
or whatever. So
yep.
like I just post it. If I'm
Yep.
more conscious of like them, their time where I know they're at, or like let's say during the shoot they were like, I don't really like my my arm, so like can we? And then I'd be more conscious about all right, let me send this to them first before I post anything.
Right.
Agreed.
He's thinking about it, my
Yeah.
wire.
No, no.
You're looking at my wire? My wire?
No, but after the shoot or wedding, when we're saying bye,
We tell them
we tell them
they're gonna
like,
be sneak peeks
yeah,
tomorrow.
but
Right, right.
just look
Yeah,
out
yeah.
for sneak peeks, and
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and they get
and that
excited.
gets them so excited.
yeah, they get them
right?
excited.
Yeah, I think people, they get hung up. They get, all these photographers are complaining about like, oh my God, now I got to do sneak peeks and I got to do all this
Yeah.
Yeah, you
social
do.
media
Sorry.
influencer stuff. Do
Yes.
you want to be in business or not?
Yeah.
It's really like evolving with time. That you got to change.
It's a
Yeah.
whole thing. Like I didn't sign up to be a content creator and
Well,
an
that is
influencer.
part of the conversation,
I
right?
signed up to be a photographer, but that's part of the business, right?
Right.
Everything evolves, so you can either do it or find another job.
Yeah. How are you
That's
going to
simple.
show your work? You're shooting photo. How are you going to show it without
Yeah.
social media?
Oh, go work
Right.
for a studio that they'll do all
Right,
the work,
right,
and you just
right,
show up
yep.
to shoot and
By the way, have you guys met each other before today?
no,
No.
never. Can you fix your wire? I'm kidding.
So now we know the difference between you and all the other planners. By the way, I think we talked about this with another planner before, but maybe you can provide further clarification, just in case our listeners, they missed the other episode. But what would be the difference between a coordinator and a planner?
It's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So coordination is month of coordination or day of coordination.
Mm-hmm.
I've never offered day of coordination. I don't think you can do a good job not knowing your client or the vendors.
Show
So-
up.
I've never shown up and
What's the job function? Just
so
making sure the
day of
dinners come out
coordination
on
would
time?
come in and I'm not even going to speak to day of coordination because I will never offer that. Month of coordination, we're actually limiting right now because it's actually very hard to walk in to something that somebody else has planned and
it's a shit show.
booked everyone. And, I had a wedding, a huge, very high budget wedding where they booked the caterer and the caterer had never done a wedding. Yeah.
Oh,
And,
no.
and guess who walks in? Like, hello. And we're doing month of coordination. Well, we did some other work also for the planning, but we didn't do the catering. And so when they're like, why are they not coming out quick enough? Why are they not? And I'm like, we're starting to get blamed. And I'm not going to put my assistants in that position. I'm not
You
going to
hire
put.
that person.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So we limit that now with people like referrals we'll do because like, especially it's so cool to see former clients like at the weddings. But we know we're going to love them. They automatically trust us. It's like an easy conversation and just, it's fun, right? So month of coordination gets started a month or two before the wedding and you work on the timeline. I don't know if everybody else does this, but we review the contracts and make sure there's no questions. So the day of can be seamless. We're there on the day of. We're making sure that everything's going well, that if someone's late, the client doesn't need to know unless they need to know, that everything looks really good. So let's say the venue's putting out favors and it looks sloppy. We're making it look better. Like we're making sure you're not stressed on the day of. But it's a lot of work prepping as well. All of the other scenarios include month of coordination. So we have partial planning and full planning, but those include month of because we have to be there the day of. Sometimes people are like, oh, I think we're good. Like we don't really need anybody. No, we're going to be there because we have to make sure if anything goes wrong that we've planned. So partial is really for people who are like, we already have not just our venue, because some people are like, well, we already have venue. We don't need full. It's like, no, you still need full. Partial's like, I really want decor, flowers, signage, chargers, anything you see is what I include in as decor. And that's what, if anybody's hiring us for partial, it's including decor because that's like what we're known for is colored and all that. For full, it's from the very beginning, booking everybody. So partial can book certain people, but not everybody. Full is you don't have to worry about really anything.
I got you.
Here's your options. Pick one.
Yeah. They can be involved in as much or as little as they want.
Right. Yep.
Like no micromanaging, but you can be like, if you want to know every single step of like, here's a few photographer options, like for what goes with your style. And then you choose from there. And then we're on, like you were talking about, we're on those calls with them. So if there is a question, I know a lot of planners don't do that.
Yeah.
We want to be there if there are questions, and our clients usually want us to be there.
I like planners. If they have a planner, I like planners being on the call with them. Yep.
So everybody's on the same page. There's no game of telephone. There's no like, oh, well, they told me one time. It's like, no, everything has to be in the contract. Like our contract's really extensive because we never want to have any disagreements or miscommunications or anything like that. So full planning is the way to go if you can. It also has unlimited meetings, emails, phone calls, whereas partial has limited. We have to be there for the full. And for myself, I'm there for full planning on the day of. And oftentimes partial, I'm not there for most month of.
Yeah.
That's usually somebody on my team.
Yeah.
I have to make myself available for what I actually plan. Yeah.
If somebody calls you like in the late night and they have partial planning, you tell them you should have upgraded to the full planning.
Well, actually,
and then call me.
Actually, a lot of people do upgrade.
Yeah.
So who start out as partial, and then we'll have meetings like, or I'll have like a parent say, come over here. Like, we're just going to upgrade them. Like, don't even talk to them about it. We're just going to upgrade them so they don't have to think before they call you. But also, nobody called me really late at night. They might get emails really late at night from me, but I have a link where people can put something in my calendar.
Yeah, awesome.
And they can use that link anytime they want. And I say, within a reason for everything. But yeah, they're getting emails back from me at all times.
Yeah.
But for meetings, we should have that during the work hours that are in my contract with them.
We have a friend who does full planning. I'm not sure she's really starting to get back into it again, right? But we had a discussion of...
We don't like her. I'm just kidding. I'm so not a competitive person. There's people for everyone.
So a discussion that we had was like how many hours we spend with each client. So we were just trying to compare. And I think photo-wise, we were like somewhere in the 25 hour, including the day of. She was like in the 60 to 80 hour range.
And some people say to figure that out so you make sure you charge enough. I don't really like to know because I like to have the relationship with my clients where, like, if they're calling me, like, I don't want to be like an attorney where I'm thinking hourly when I'm talking to them. I want to be having, and a lot of times we're friends after.
Yeah.
Like at the end, they're like, so how do we keep talking because we're friends now, right? And I'm like, yes, we're friends.
Yeah.
I meet people's babies. It's really cool. It's very cool after.
I think the discussion that what led to that was like her fee for full planning when she gives clients that number.
Yes. They don't understand.
Yeah. And so we started. So in reality, what she was saying is that, planners are working more than any other vendor when they're on board. And if you do the numbers, we're actually making probably the less.
Planners are supposed to make the most of anyone who's going to be there because you're doing the entire time, almost daily. So much time. But it's very hard to explain the why without people seeing it and really understanding even people's like testimonials. When people write testimonials and they're like, we can't really explain why, but like this person's so worth it. Or, but it's hard to put into words. And depending on who the planner is, the planner can save you money.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah.
And that can be either by getting more from vendors or having a vendor reduce their rate, or from like, if I know flowers, like if I know which flowers are going to make sense for you. Like if
even in season flowers will cut you a lot of
or like, okay, you know what? Yes, we love this, but I know your budget. Why don't we replace this with this? And then it'll work even better and it'll stay in your budget. And they're like, oh, that's cool. And maybe the florist didn't come up with that because they wanted them to increase their budget.
Yep.
Right?
You also bring them back to reality too.
I don't love that, but I do if I have to.
You have to, yeah. Like, for example, when they say, I want drapes here and the ceiling, and then you're like, okay, let me look into it. And you hit them with the quote.
Right.
They're like, yeah, we don't need the fucking drapes anymore.
Yeah, I don't even usually have to look into it first. I usually go.
From experience,
your budget is this.
Yeah.
Do you want to increase it before I look into it? Or do you want to just do part of it? Or do you want me to come up with a completely different idea?
We don't need it.
Yeah.
Right. Some people are like, you know what?
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
Right. It depends on, some people are okay with doubling their budget.
Right.
And I have a minimum also because I don't want what I have had a couple of times where, someone's like, okay, these are great, but can we find escort cards that are $1 each and save money on that? And I'm like,
go to Office Depot.
it is so $1 each. Like, that's the person's labor she's making 5 cents. And then 95 cents is the card and the printing. And it just doesn't make sense. We have worked that together. And,
sounds about right.
Yeah. And so now I have a minimum.
My clients are not cheap.
No.
They're not cheap. My clients are not cheap. They're they
don't value certain things.
They value certain things.
They value certain things.
I mean, the fact they had a planner,
That's
right?
with everybody.
But it was just that certain things they didn't really want to spend on, but it doesn't mean $1. Like, I will still get you a great deal, but So
I guess my next question is, you probably get just so many baskets of stuff every year from.
I got these.
But I really like your chocolates. Your chocolates were delicious.
See? Ben's out here selling chocolates?
Chocolates? Well,
we always send chocolates.
We send chocolates.
They're very good.
Yeah. You got to make sure you can share them. But like
with my kids, I share them.
The risky thing about chocolates or any kind of food items is that sometimes there's allergies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They call you up. I got diabetes. Why are you sending me this shit?
Right.
I had a boyfriend one time who did not pay attention and sent me stuff. I was like, we probably shouldn't date. Right? Yeah, you learn it. It is tricky with food because
it's
of
tricky
that.
with food items and stuff. Yeah. But like I was like, well, we sent it in previous years, so we knew it was safe because we got stories out of it. So
I do get some cool, unique gifts. I had someone stop by. He found me, wanted to work with me. He dropped off a blanket, like a nice knit blanket that says "Smiling Through Chaos," and just at my door.
Nice.
And then with like a nice note, and that was so
you
nice.
should have bought the blanket. You could have put it on.
Not on this podcast.
But it was so nice. Like thoughtful things like that. Somebody sent me like socks because they know I love like funky socks. And like we all do.
When this airs, you're gonna get so many
Yeah.
socks.
But it's just like it's the very thoughtfulness of like, you know, we don't
It's
like.
gonna be all your students.
Like, guys, don't send her any socks.
I do love socks. I will take socks.
I got it covered.
More socks.
But it's just, you know, it's just like being thoughtful and I don't need, right? It's not a
Of
need,
course.
but it's more like, it's just sweet.
It's
It's a nice
something,
gesture.
and it's
Yeah.
actually something useful.
Yeah.
A lot of like photographers, they just send like the usual flowers and like gift baskets and stuff, without even like knowing who the planner is, getting to know them, or trying to take them out for coffee. They just like send stuff.
You know, I get stuff too. I don't know if you guys get stuff. You know, because like on the pecking, not I wouldn't say pecking order, but like in the order of who gets booked in the chronology of things, it's like venue planner and then photographer and then everyone else, right? And then you got all these other, like, you know how many camera lens mugs I have?
Yeah.
And not only that, do you know how many of them are Canon, Brandon?
I think they're all Canon. I don't think we have one Nikon.
Get to know who I am first, right? Like,
I'm not shooting your wedding with a Canon.
Why is it Canon?
we shoot Nikon, right? But the thing is, like, that's nice. It's a nice gesture. Thank you for the gift, right?
Yeah.
I'm not
I've
trying to be
never
ungrateful,
gotten
But do you wish they knew that first?
I don't know if Nikon probably
Nikon
makes
makes
it
copies.
now.
They do make mugs.
But back then, like
I
10 years ago.
have a Nikon mug.
But for me, all right, and this would be a good segue to redirecting this conversation back to you, right? But like for me, but for me, it's not
You
so
always find a way
much.
to bring it to him. It's fine.
I'm not. I'm about a conversation, not all about myself. It's all good.
But you're our guest. You're our guest.
It's
But,
always about Ben.
but like for me, it's not so much about the gift giving. It's about like if you want to work more together, you want us to work more together and stuff. Just like, you know, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more like, at least for me, it's more collaborative team effort on
I
the
love
day of.
collaboration. Yes.
It's about you not being an asshole. I have a no asshole clause too. You know, don't be an asshole.
You
to
have
the
that in your
clients.
contract?
No, I don't have. I don't have a story yet. But I think I've had
It's not even
some
on
of
his Instagram.
Yeah, it's not in my contract, but it's on my. Yeah, you gotta put it on your Instagram.
But like, yeah, I have a no asshole policy. Just be nice, be kind to the other vendors, make everyone's life a little easier.
Right.
That's what I'm looking for. You know, if you want to work together, that's the easiest way to do it. You know, just make my life easy, make the client's life easy. That's what.
Somebody wrote me recently and said, "Hi, Christina." And then
What the
I don't know
hell?
who they were trying to
probably
write.
like
Right, template.
Copy and paste
Yeah.
to run
And
it
I
down.
was like, I'm not interested. And then they're like, I didn't even read their, and they were like, oh, okay. And I'm like, you still don't even realize? Like, look below. I mean, if you don't even know who you're writing, or when somebody writes me through my website as like an inquiry instead of looking at my email, like, you know, like things, not knowing who you are, not knowing like, oh, do you do planning? It's like for vendors, like, yes.
I love those. We get, oh, you do video too? I'm like, where? On my website.
Where have you seen a video?
Hey, like, look through. Look, like, do a little research. It's like an
make
interview.
A little effort. Just make a little effort.
Yes.
It's your wedding day.
Yeah,
Or when someone does take you out to coffee, like you were saying, right?
Yeah.
Which I do sometimes. But if they don't know you, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's actually a turn off.
Yeah.
Or if they take you out and you're like talking to you and then they don't follow up and you don't talk to them again.
Ever again, yeah.
That's not.
What is that?
So I do less of it now because that's just
A little icky.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
icky.
And you kind of know it's a one-way street there. Like,
I was just gonna say I don't like feeling used.
it's a one-way street.
And in this position, it's actually very hard because it's like when I was in management and corporate too, you could be used and you could feel used.
Right. Nobody likes that feeling.
And I in this position very easily, I mean, I do have a red flag like alert a little bit in my head, but I do feel that way sometimes. And it's hard to build that camaraderie unless someone is really being real. Like you have frienders, like we're frienders, right?
Yes.
Like we're friends.
Yes.
Some people you're like, they're just being nice to get in.
Yep.
And sometimes you don't know right away.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's very tough.
So I keep a little distance from some people just because you don't know, but I don't want to have to.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've seen it with a lot of our frienders.
Yeah.
The minute they hear someone's a planner, it's always like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
Yeah.
that's like, you don't even know them. What are
Yeah,
you doing? That's not how this works. She's not just going to throw weddings at you just
Right,
because you just said
yeah.
hi.
People still think that though.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not happening.
They're like, so in case you ever need a photographer, I get those emails.
Yeah,
Mhm.
all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
In case
oh my
I ever
God,
need
I
a
was just
photographer.
looking for one.
Like I'm new, like I
Thank
just
God.
started. Yeah.
He just sent me this email.
For someone who's just starting
Yeah.
out, that would be
Right.
helpful. But like,
Or instead of finding a way to like help you, or like to provide us something usable
Offer
for
their
you.
services.
Like
Yes.
say,
to you,
hey,
you know what I mean?
I would
Pretty
love
much.
to tag along on your next wedding just to get BTS of you, right?
that
Right.
those kinds of things are helpful. Or
Right.
I would love to get a photo of you for your business for
Right.
branding.
A
Do
recent
your branding
headshot.
photo for
Yes.
you. Yeah.
Right.
And
Build
see
a
how that works.
relationship first.
Something like that. Something that's
Yes,
that's
yes.
usable and useful.
And we're always needing new photos.
Of course.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that happens sometimes. It's the opposite of where I'll give someone a lot of business and then I'll be like, would you just do this little thing for me? And if they're like, no, I'm like, I'm completely turned off now
Mhm.
from ever giving business again because I don't ask favors a lot
Right.
or I don't
Right.
ask. And if I ask for something small and I've given you like tons of
Right.
business or
right.
a lot of money,
It's an unwritten rule. You do it.
you just do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I'm not asking you. I'm nicely telling you, right? Like I'm telling you to do it.
well, you know what happened? This happened recently. I wrote back and I was like, that's not a great look because I've given you guys a lot of business.
Mhm.
And I was kind of giving them the opportunity to be like, you know what, you're right. Like, why don't I just do this
Just
little
get it
thing
done,
for you?
right.
And they still were like, it's not like for multiple reasons, it's not a great time right. It's not going to work out. And I'm like,
Okay.
okay.
Cool.
But like,
Yeah.
I think
That's it.
that
Yeah, that's done. That's
that
it.
shows I come from a family of entrepreneurs and there's a certain work ethic and certain kind of with relationships, you
Mhm.
always over deliver.
Mhm.
My dad always said one person with a negative experience is going to share a lot more than 5 people with a positive
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
experience.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Keep your bride.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why
Perfect
it's so
example.
important, the
Yep.
customer service, and why if I feel like I'm getting too busy with clients, I actually stop. I'll
Mhm.
start a wait list.
Mhm.
Because I want to have that excellent customer service.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a nice segue into like a conversation I had with a newer photographer. She had been in business for about, I want to say 5 years or so. And she was asking me how I got a lot of my work. I was like, well, I have a lot of great relationships with venues and planners and things like that. That's where I get most of my work. And she's like, oh, what venues do you get a lot of work from? I was like, well, I get a lot of work from this venue. She's like, oh my gosh, I work at that venue all the time. Well, not all the time. I mean, you don't listen, lady. You've only been in business for like a couple of years, right? But she's like,
It's the beginning of COVID, probably. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's literally.
Venues were closed.
Yeah.
Literally.
She's like, they love me over there, right? And like, why are you getting all the referrals and I'm not getting
It's a
any
little
referrals,
whiny.
right? Listen, I've been in business 15 years. I've had that time to have that relationship with them. And also the other thing is I never asked them to get on their list or anything
Right.
like that because I came from a service first mentality.
Right.
Venue, what do you need? Oh, you know what it is? I don't have enough XYZ
Yeah.
or whatever it is. Got you. I'll take care of that for
That's
you
smart.
right away. And then that's it. You
That's
know?
smart. Yeah.
You got to be a little bit more proactive other than just trying to kiss ass on the wedding
Like,
day.
hey, you guys have any availability on your vendor list? Right. That's what. Can you imagine how many times they hear that?
Yeah.
Like throughout the
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
And I mean, some venues will just take anybody because they get kickbacks. But what you were saying, right? Like as a venue that's looking to bring people on that are going to provide the best for their clients, they're going to want people who they trust, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah,
like,
you got to help them without asking for anything first. You know, it's like you come from a service first mentality.
Yes.
What can I do to make your life easier? What can I make? Well,
And you should do that with everyone in life,
Mm-hmm.
like friends and colleagues and anyone.
just do it
like,
because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
a lot of venues actually won't tell people about planners anymore
Mhm.
because it's getting to they don't want to upset other planners from bringing people to see them. So there are certain venues that who used to have planners on their list,
Mhm.
and now we're removing. We want all planners to feel comfortable coming here.
Okay.
They were being asked by too many planners to be on the list, and if they said no, then the planner would stop bringing people. And so,
Oh.
yeah, there's a bunch right now who
Wow.
And they're like, we love you. Like, we'll still tell people
right
about you.
on the official list.
But we just will not have planners on the list anymore. And I get it. I do get it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little hurt by it, but I get it. I do understand. I think that could happen with photographers too, though, because if they, but I guess less because they're not the photographer's not bringing
the
them.
client,
All the rest of the
We're the
not
next
bringing
step.
clients.
Because
Yeah.
we come after the venue. Yeah.
I'm gonna close. I'm not gonna bring any more clients to your venue unless you remove all the photographers from the list.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
but
should-
they keep photographers for some of them
Yeah.
are for 30 years.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
I've
yeah.
had
They-
conversations
they
with them
get
like
kickbacks.
it's time to
Yeah.
but even if I'm sure other people would
We'll gladly
willing
pay
to
that.
give-
of course.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
but to me
Relationship,
I
so-
say the times are changing and so is photography and some of the people who are
Oh,
on
yeah.
this list should not be
They-
on the
they've been there
list
for 35
anymore.
years.
Hey man,
Yeah.
I've been on some lists for 10 years plus.
Well,
But you
the-
shoot like a modern day shooter.
Right.
Like you're not
But
shooting from
I'm
the
sure
90s.
you know some people who I'm talking about,
Yes.
especially in Westchester, New York.
Yeah, of course.
Venues.
Yeah.
but they have the same people. And it's like, and then, if it's the company that owns 5 venues and they're having the
They
same
all
people.
have. Yep.
And so a lot of times people will come to me, clients, and they'll say, so I was looking at these people on the list from my venue. Should I continue? And I'm like, let me send you because a lot of these people, some of them are good, but some
Yeah.
are just on the list because they're on the list
Yeah.
and they are making money from it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, I don't think that's talked about enough.
Yeah.
Clients don't realize
Yeah.
that.
They don't know.
I spoke to someone that works at a venue who's in charge of, I guess, the marketing
Uh-huh.
and this person can't do anything because the people that are on this list have been paying for decades, right? And his issue is how can I steer the venue towards this new branding if this is who we have coming in
No, you have
all
to
the
get
time,
rid. You have to,
right? And they come in
Right.
every single time. They do the same stuff over and over.
same exact
Exactly.
angle with the photo.
Yeah,
Right?
it's the same like traditional, outdated style. So this person was trying to tell me and Jen like, it's tough for someone that works at a venue. My job is to,
Brand it.
brand the venue a certain way. But this is what the imagery that we're getting because
That's really.
they
tough.
don't want to remove these people from the list because they've been on there for 20 years or whatever. And at
But
that
I don't
point,
understand
like,
why that. Just because they've been on the list for 20 years does not mean
Yeah.
fresh. Then add in someone fresh. Like, don't just keep the same look
They should
and feel.
reevaluate.
I'm on a
their-
list with
their-
20 other
their
photographers.
portfolio.
I don't care.
Well, they've added some new.
yeah,
new,
they
new
finally
faces.
added one person who's a friend of
Adding
ours.
is different, but if you have 2 photographers on there,
And who's been there for 30 years.
it's
Yeah, it's time to update that.
It's time for them to
And
go.
same thing when people talk about, oh, do you work there all the time to a planner? No, I don't work anywhere all the time.
right.
And don't you want somebody with fresh
Fresh eyes.
eyes
Exactly.
who
Yep.
doesn't do the same thing at the venue every
Mhm.
single time?
Mhm.
I actually love working at all different venues.
venues. Oh
Same.
yeah, we love
And
Yeah, I
that.
think we
love-
all do.
Right? Walking in and being like, oh, what should we
This
do?
is
All
new.
this new
New motivation,
New
yep.
inspiration. Yep.
the hardest
Yep.
thing to work.
But
at
listen,
the
if a
same
client
venue
says,
all the time.
I've seen that you've worked at this venue before. I was like, yeah, damn straight I have. You
Of course, you kind of use that as a reassurance, but in reality, like especially when we meet with a client that it's a venue we never worked at, like, and they ask us that, right? We want to tell them it doesn't freaking matter if we work there or not.
Right.
Like,
But not everybody.
Yeah, but some
Gets that all the
people
time.
they want somebody
That's security.
been
Yes.
there.
of course, they
Yep.
want
Yes.
people
Yep.
to
Yep.
be familiar with
Doesn't
the
really matter,
grounds
but
and
yep.
all the nice photo
Right,
spots.
yep.
You know the Natarar wedding that
Yes.
we did a few months ago? So they had people walking around when we were getting that set up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you heard this. You probably didn't. You were with them taking photos. And I was in the reception room getting ready. And they were walking around with people and people were like, oh, like, what is this? Do you usually have that up there? No,
Right.
because this is different because it's a Smiling Through Chaos wedding. It's not
Right.
the usual. And people aren't sure what's included with the venue when they're coming in and seeing something
there's a
unique
tour going
also.
on.
Yes.
Venues always do.
Booze
Oh,
too,
yeah.
during
Guys,
weddings.
let me tell you, I had
Yeah.
never seen a wedding like that before. She had these giant floral decor pieces hung up from the ceiling.
Nice.
They were like maybe 3 to 4 feet Like they were huge.
Yeah, one flower was like this.
Yeah,
I'd
with
never seen
twinkle
anything like that.
lights and grouped greenery in between. I didn't want it to be all throughout because that's been done a million times. It needs to be grouped.
Yeah.
So it felt like
You were,
more magical.
yeah, it was pretty dope. I hadn't seen anything like that. I shoot a lot of weddings.
I want to
I'd
hear
never
that
seen-
every single time.
This
That's my goal. That's my goal every time. It's like, oh, I've never seen anything like this.
You know what? The thing is, with any kind of vendor relationship between one or the other, it's just like any real life relationships. There's no such thing as bad guys, good guys. It's compatibility.
I think there are bad guys.
Okay,
I think there are.
Okay, you're right.
That's the assholes. That's
There are
that-
some of those.
there
There was a
are.
venue that wouldn't give her water. She was choking.
Yeah.
and she
Are
needed
you
to get
kidding
drinking
me?
water,
Mhm.
And
No,
they're like,
they-
vendors
they-
are not allowed to drink or eat or anything.
The
And-
bartender poured the water, and then
the manager made him
And
dump
went
it.
like this.
No,
Yeah, the manager made him dump it.
Yeah,
Yes.
the manager
Yeah.
Made him
comes
dump
and
it.
tosses it. Like she doesn't get anything if we can't serve guests.
Yep.
Right.
So, that goes back to and this we can include this, right? It goes back to conversation that I had earlier about serving the people. Just be a team player on the day of. I think that's all we look for. You know what I mean? Like we have a lot of creatives who listen to this podcast, mostly photographers. I feel like, right? So like when you as a planner, you're building your team. What are some of the things that you're looking for?
They have to be smiling through chaos. They have to be people who are very hardworking, solution oriented, not just like looking around. They have to be looking at, are people happy? If they see a table of people who are looking a little bored or not happy, we're going up to them. We're talking to them. We're seeing if they want to dance. Anything we need to do, because when the couple looks around, we want them to see
People having a good
people
time.
having a great time. And obviously intelligent and like able to get it. If I'm saying like, oh, can you go count the chairs while I go do this? I don't want someone coming up to me 5 minutes later saying, what did you ask me to do again? Or it needs to be efficient, productive. I need to know that I can count on you when I walk away, because I worked an event a couple months ago where I was running back and forth the entire time. And every time I went this way, there were 5 people on my way who would stop and ask me questions. So I wouldn't also have time for my assistant to stop and ask me questions. Of course, I did make time, right? Or I would go up to them and we'd discuss things. But I'm not a shark. I don't ever want to be a planner who is, when I started the business, I said, I don't want to be the reputation of a planner. Don't want to be this bossy shark-like. I want to be collaborative and I want to help people love their jobs. So when we're going, I do have high expectations, of course, but when I'm going back and forth and having those people ask questions, I need my planners and assistant planners to be able to really get it of what's the vibe, what's next on the list. Let me look at the timeline. Let me look ahead on the timeline so Amanda doesn't need to do that next. So it's really working as a team collaboratively, but they also have to be smiling. Like they have to be happy people.
Do
They
they have
can't
to be
miserable.
extroverted?
They don't have to be extroverted. They don't. They don't. No, they have to be able to be extroverted like you.
Oh wait, so you agree with the group that he's not an introvert?
I watched that. You had it on Facebook. So I am an ENFJ. Like, do you know what that is?
Yeah.
The personality test. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, but I also need my alone time.
Mhm.
And I think I know someone was questioning you of whether you're really an introvert.
Mhm.
I think we're all kind of everything.
Mhm.
It's just how much time do you need?
Mhm.
I can, like we were talking about middle school, I can easily go up and say, hey, want to be my boyfriend?
Mhm.
Right? But do I get scared right before I get on stage? Yes.
Mhm.
I was on dance team and I would freak everybody out and be like, oh my God, I forgot the entire dance. Somebody show me right before. And they would have to show me and then we go on stage and I'd be like, same thing. I did a karate thing with my son a couple years ago and I was like, oh no, show me right before. He showed. And then no, he actually was like, I'm not showing you, you know it. And I'm like, you gotta show me. It creates panic. Or if I know questions beforehand that I have to memorize,
Mhm.
those kinds of things. But if you're just asking me a question.
Right.
So I don't know. I think you're an extrovert.
Thank you. So does the
Who
rest of the
also
planet.
likes to be introverted sometimes.
You're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, I don't know where
I
you get.
like my peace and quiet.
You
I
do
need that too.
not.
I need that too. But you're not. You come up with questions.
But you know
can talk to anybody.
What's enough about me? Enough about me.
But you know what? Ben
He knows
does?
the losing battle.
You
Ben
probably
does
have like
do-
a small quality.
Ben doesn't like going to places by himself. That I know.
I don't think
No, that's
anybody
not true.
loves.
I eat by myself.
Well, you eat, but you always love to drag me with you. I'm like,
That's
That's
different.
because wait,
That's different.
wait. That's
why
because he
spend-
loves you.
He just spend time
Correct.
with you,
I'm like,
Karis.
just go by yourself.
He wants to be with his
And
See,
he's
friends.
like,
are you
no,
able
I
to-
love you. I want
Well,
to spend time with you.
Obviously, you're able to shoot a wedding by yourself, right?
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
can.
As an introvert, I can't shoot a wedding by
No.
myself.
So I
Have
have a
you
rule.
never shot a wedding by? I've shot a
I-
wedding
I
by
have.
myself. Yeah.
There's
Well,
no
I don't
word
think I
can't.
can.
There's no word can't.
Yeah.
I have.
He has.
It's just
Yeah.
there's a
You
comfort
don't
level.
love to.
There's
That's
a
true.
comfort
You know-
level when I have Jen with me.
Same. I
Yeah.
do I
Yeah.
do weddings and events by myself, but I love to have someone with me.
Yeah.
I was telling that client this on a consult yesterday. I was like, "There's no such thing as the word no. It's how, right? What needs to happen? What do we need in order to make this happen, right?
Mhm.
You want to do you want the Statue of Liberty in the background of your photos? It's not a no. We just have to figure out what we need to do, and you need to be okay that that's what we need to do to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
because they were getting married on the ground floor of the Liberty House. There's not enough clearance. There's trees in
Right,
the way.
right.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to see the Statue of Liberty.
Then
Why
we,
do they
we can hop in the
want
car and
Statue
go
of
to the
Liberty?
other.
Yeah.
We go to the other side of
It's
the
like
park.
back of her anyway.
Anyway, that's what they want. I was like, it's not a no.
Okay.
Just letting you know, it's not a no.
But,
This
like-
is
It's gonna
what
look this big.
Why
Yeah,
don't you
it's
just
like-
put it on the photo album cover?
Yeah.
The statue get a
Get a
Yeah,
stock
yeah,
photo.
yeah.
and Put it.
Statue.
Listen, I was like, listen, it's important to you. It's important to me.
Yes,
This is
yes.
what we need. This is what we
That's
need to
so
make it happen.
funny.
Yes.
That's an odd thing.
I,
huh?
I you know what I tell clients time, like sometimes the eye is very deceiving. Well, the camera's very deceiving in the way your eye sees.
Right.
Right.
Wait, what
So-
if you're like, I see the Statue of Liberty,
Right, but-
right, tiny?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you see it like
Yes.
you could barely see it, you're not gonna see it on
Like,
on
is
the
that
camera.
okay to them if you see the Statue of Liberty very tiny?
I wouldn't be acceptable to me.
I
but
tell them,
Okay,
I'm like,
okay,
we
okay.
can see it. It's just small.
Yeah, and then lighting may be
Yeah.
different too.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I'll figure it
we
out.
know you will.
Right. I'll figure
We
it
know
out,
you will.
right?
You know why?
So funny.
Because we don't believe the word can't.
He's gonna
Okay.
Photoshop it.
I'll figure it
That's
out.
what I was thinking. That's
Literally
totally what I was
he's gonna
thinking.
do.
Be a Mexican, not a Mexican.
But I think of that with every part of life.
Yeah.
If my kids, they know we don't believe the word can't.
Right.
We just, it's never, and I always said when I was working in management, to an assistant, if they said to me, oh, I can't, if you can't, I will, because I'm never telling my boss I can't.
Mhm.
I'm never telling a client I can't do that.
Mhm.
If I can't, another planner will. I don't
Mhm.
believe in the word can.
Mhm.
It's so negative.
So if you were the photographer in the sepia this sepia gate issue,
Yes.
and this is your style, this is your vision, and then the
Yes.
client came back and said, "Hey, listen, I want these $1 escort cards."
Wait, are we talking about the sepia or the $1 escort cards?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, the sepia,
Why
sepia
did we
photographer.
do-
Just like remix them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remix it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the sepia photographer was like, "Hey, listen, I can't edit like that. That's not my style.
Huh?
I can't do that." Right? It'd be equivalent to your bride saying, "Hey, listen, I want to have
No,
these."
because I'm not making the escort cards, so that's a little different. But with the photographer, I think there's a way to always edit it
course,
differently.
yeah.
And I would say, if you're really first of all, I want my clients happy. So if you're really unhappy with how this looks, why don't I show you 2 other options that I do, and which one do you prefer? And I will edit these to make it that way.
Mhm.
It might not be exactly, but they're going to be happy.
Yeah.
Or
But
happier.
I think
right?
they did go
They
through
did a
that
couple
whole.
of. They did go through a
process
couple
back
of
and
edits.
Well, maybe it's also a
Yep.
person who
No,
nothing's
she-
going to make her
she's
happy.
still-
she
kept it-
refused to change. Like what she did
Okay.
was enhance. Maybe she smoothed the skin a little bit and it brightened it
How
up.
about the yellow
But
tone?
she was still
there?
yellow.
But the
Yeah.
yellow tone was still
Still
there.
there.
was
Yeah,
still
and she
yellow.
doesn't want to look like she has a liver disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That was, you know what? Between the 5 of us and our 66 listeners, right? I think it's 67 now, right? But
we just gained one.
you never know how many
but,
people are
it's easy,
listening.
but
yeah.
honestly, it's an easy fix to get that
Right.
yellow
It's a
tone
white
away.
balance.
It's a white balancing issue,
Yeah.
and also
And then
the
it's the curve.
it's a tone curve.
Yeah,
it's a tone curve.
because of the hair.
It's
Like,
a
it's
very-
turning
it's a
reddish.
very
The whole
easy
thing
fix.
looks like there's a filter
It's a
of
very
yellow.
easy
Right?
fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
What the
photographer's not budging because of principle.
Even the
Right,
white-
Yeah.
right. And you should
principle.
never do that
Yeah.
with this
Yeah.
kind of thing. If a client could be happy,
And the client's
What?
willing to pay $2,000
Oh.
to make the problem go away. Too.
Yeah,
And
that's when. Go ahead.
The
And sign an NDA and everything.
The bride.
They
no,
did?
They didn't sign an
No,
NDA.
they didn't.
The
Because then this
bride
wouldn't
tried
be
to
out there.
compromise with the 4,000 rebuttal that the photographer said, you want the rawest $4,000. She was like, how about 2? And I signed an NDA saying that whatever you give me, I edit on my own, but no one will ever see it online.
He should have done it.
Or, you know,
Yeah.
I was just for my album and for
Yeah.
my family, and we print it and that's it.
Because I'm pretty sure he's not happy right now.
The bride's not happy right now.
No, the photographer.
Oh, it's a she.
She.
Oh, it's a
Yep,
she?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she's gonna
I'm
be
pretty
on.
sure
She's gonna be on another podcast
Yep.
this Friday.
Not with us, somebody else. But we'll
Yep.
see what she has to say. But it's a weird
What-
back and forth.
What I was saying is that yes, she's not wrong for standing her ground, but as a human being and someone that runs a business and we're in a service business, I wouldn't feel right that someone's not happy. Right? I would charge them. I would find an editor that can edit just like her style
right.
because
Uh-huh.
the fact of the matter
that's
is
true.
this photographer already spent hours editing this
Right.
whole gallery, right? For nothing because she doesn't like it, right? But
Did the
Right,
photographer
right.
think it looked good?
that's how she
That's-
edits.
That's how she
that's
edits.
aesthetic.
That's
That's
a
aesthetic.
Is that what all of her photos look
All
like?
of
Yeah,
her
all her
photos.
Oh,
photos
then
like that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
That's how
You chose a photographer
Yes.
Yes.
who
Yes.
does.
That's the
I didn't
other
realize
argument.
that all her.
That's
I thought they
Yes.
were saying that the other photos didn't look like that. Because then I
no.
could
That's
understand.
what she
No.
made it sound like.
Right,
Yeah, the
right.
bride made it sound like she
No.
just did it this
So what
yeah.
happened was
But
she
no-
shot her rehearsal dinner the night before, and it's a lot more cool editing.
Uh-huh.
Overcast.
So it's not as orange and yellowy as the wedding photos.
Listen,
so she
you have to show
she has like
both the same kind of editing.
So
though.
when you have like a direct comparison from
Yeah.
yourself, like I
Yeah.
look beautiful, I love how I look at my rehearsal dinner, but I don't like how I look at my
Yeah.
wedding. She has a direct comparison as opposed to
Right.
you can't when you're looking sometimes when you look at someone's portfolio, you can't imagine yourself in it. Like she didn't know that like when I hired
And
this
she
yellow
may have not
photographer,
seen that yellow hue.
you
She didn't
right.
probably.
But
didn't
now she
notice
had
it.
something to compare with herself.
Yep, herself.
Say like, oh, I look
one was indoor
nice
with
here.
flash, and then the other one was outdoor.
Right.
No, one was
Natural
outdoor.
light.
The rehearsal that she posted was
natural
outdoors.
light. Yeah,
So
natural light.
it's going to be
outdoors, right,
different.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's
Anyway, it's,
It
at
was
the end
learning
of the day, It
lesson.
was an easy fix.
Yep.
It would have been an easy
Yeah.
fix.
But photographers stood her ground because that's her portfolio, right?
mm-hmm.
So that's where that.
She's not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You know.
understand
Yeah,
that
she's not
too.
wrong.
Yeah, because she,
wrong.
all her feed and even her Instagram, she says golden.
Yeah.
That's
That's all
her
her
thing.
branding. That's her
I
branding.
mean-
Her
She
profile-
sells that preset
Yeah,
pack
her
too. Like
profile is golden.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
you know, I don't know
Yeah.
why she didn't see it.
Yeah,
That's what I was
yeah.
saying. You should have done more research.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
you go through the portfolio.
well,
it's
she
like,
admits
A lot
that.
of people are
She-
saying
yeah, she
you should
admits it.
make people look at entire
Yeah.
raw
Gal-
photo
yeah,
or
gallery.
entire
Yeah.
You
galleries.
should have asked for it.
And the bride
yeah.
admits that she's like, this is where I messed up. I didn't look at galleries.
Right.
Like I didn't
Yeah.
realize this would be consistent across the board. Like she was using it as like a learning lesson for other people. I think where it got out of hand is where
Everyone
photographers
got
started
involved.
attacking
Yep.
her. Everyone got involved, and it was a whole big mess.
Yeah, it became
and
a
she became
spiral.
unhinged. So
Ah,
I think also too, and you may encounter this with brides as you're planning. When you start planning your wedding, you're so excited, and you just want to get everything done and just book and just like, oh, this looks beautiful. Look, done, book,
Right,
done, book.
excited, yep.
And then you don't realize until after or during the process, like maybe this wasn't the right fit for me, or and
I
now
don't
you're just
have that
you're
problem,
just
thank
stuck.
God.
Yeah.
Because
They have an expert with.
well, yeah, and I think because we do a lot in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you have to get the people you love, right? The
Mhm.
bookings. Some of the creative I hold because I don't want to do all signage too early. Depends on how quickly it is. I want to be able to stay creative. But with the vision, the color palette, and the story, we set that.
Yeah.
And that can't change without a hefty fee. So people don't say, I changed my mind so much because they'll have to
Expensive.
pay for it, right?
Yeah,
They'll
yeah,
have to
yeah.
pay for it. But I also will, like, I want them to be excited about every piece. So if they say, I don't love this, I'm like, let's change it before we finalize it. So then it is set.
Yeah.
And you love it. But that I've heard that happens. But because I'm really only putting things out there that I know that they're going to love because I'm getting to know them first, it doesn't so much.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be them.
Well, they have someone to guide them too.
Yeah.
The thing. Like
Mhm.
some people will be very excited about it now, but in 20, 30 years and look back in their pictures, like,
Right.
they'll be
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
But that's why even when I'm showing people photography styles, they might be like, I really like these three, and they're completely different styles.
Yes.
And then I go deeper and I'm like, but for this event,
mm-hmm.
which style will you want to look back? So I do go before we even contact the photographer. So it actually probably makes your life easier having a planner in that respect also to be able to
Yep. Because when
guide
there's
them.
planner and they
with that,
inquire, they most likely book because planner is guiding you
Right.
to contact this photographer.
Right.
You're in the top 3 already
Yeah,
if there's a planner involved.
And
Yes,
you are.
your meeting
Yes.
is pretty much booked. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
way I feel it.
top 3, because sometimes
Yeah.
people think they're booked and then it's like, oh, now I have to go back. And I always do. I always say they're going this route this
Yeah.
time.
That
Or-
happened to us.
Yeah.
We had a call with the planner. She was pushing for us. Still didn't hire
Oh,
us. Yeah, but it could be
It
so many different
happens,
things.
in
Like,
the end, it could have been
yeah.
a negative experience. So I always feel like whoever's meant to be your
Right,
client.
it'd be your client. Yep.
Do you have any fun horror stories? They can be nameless. Anything you'd like to share?
Horror story?
Or anything juicy?
So, yeah, I was gonna say that has to be juicy.
Scandalous.
I tend to walk away. I do have a couple who I think was probably doing the nasty right after
Right after.
their ceremony.
Well, no, in some cultures that's what's supposed to happen. They lock them up in the room for a couple
Well,
minutes.
I always give people time.
Right.
Yeah.
But usually people are like, just
just
come in,
sitting down
whatever.
and
It's
eating.
just we're just eating or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But
They
I
didn't
mean,
want
some
it.
cultures they're supposed to be locked up. They're supposed to be.
I don't think this was a cultural
No, they're not
thing.
supposed to do that. This is alone time.
But I don't, which I'm like, go for it.
Yeah.
Whatever, have fun. It's your wedding. But I don't have any like.
Oh, juicy stuff. Yeah.
Were you like knocking on the door, like trying to
No,
ask a question?
I knew.
I got-
I knew. I just there was something that
I got your signature drink.
you know what happened. You know what happened is they wrote each other notes beforehand, and one of them was really like long and sweet and romantic, and you could tell, and the other one was just like a word. I don't know what it was,
Going raunchy with
and
that.
they I don't know what it was,
Pineapples.
and she just started laughing, and then that's the same one, and then after. So I think
see.
it probably said
A little
something
invitation for
like-
after.
get ready, like right after. Yeah.
meet me in the group suite.
Yeah. But my
You know
clients
what?
usually
Yeah.
want me to be around them, so I don't have anything like really.
Right.
I have
Crazy,
people
yeah.
who want me to drink with them and stuff, but I don't.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
One time I was pregnant with my second child and I couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Just take a shot. Just take a shot."
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
"I don't drink at weddings."
Yeah.
And I'm not even a big drinker in general, but
Yeah.
I was like, "No, really, I can't." That's the can't I can say.
Yeah.
But I could. Is like they kept pushing and pushing.
I always laugh when couples when they really like you so much they want to hang out with you at the end of
Yes.
at the end of the wedding, and when they ask me and Jen, like, you guys could stay and hang out.
Right. No.
Oh, for the
Yeah.
after party.
Yeah.
Yes,
Whistle
yes.
without your
Man,
camera.
like,
Yeah.
I've been here 12 hours
I
sweating in this
know.
hot sun.
I'm going to
But it's
bed.
like
Yeah.
a little bit awkward too because they're like, "Yeah, come hang out," and you're like,
Yeah, but I've been working all day and like.
"Right."
Yeah,
Am I
like, I would
coming
love
as a
to, but I'm exhausted.
photographer now? Like, am I gonna
Well,
feel awkward
destinations
not shooting?
destination weddings are a lot oftentimes like that.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah.
did that destination. We hung out with them.
we,
Yeah.
we get to know everybody at
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Right,
that's
destination
right.
different.
wedding.
But at the end of the
Yeah.
night here in Jersey, I'm going home.
I jumped
Like,
in the
I'm
pool
not.
with them and everything.
Yeah, why
This short-
not?
Yeah,
everything.
destination is
Or
different.
weekend weddings. Do you ever do weekend weddings
What do you
where
mean
you
weekend
go?
weddings?
So if it's more than 2 hours away, then
Yeah.
we
Oh, you definitely
require
go
Overnight,
weekend.
to
yeah.
stay
Yeah, yeah,
overnight
yeah, yeah.
at the venue.
Yeah.
Or-
Even then, we're like, we're going to our room and
Yeah.
take a nap.
Yeah.
Let me go to
Tired.
sleep.
But
Yeah.
they
We're not
want to
hanging out with
talk.
you.
They want to hang
I
out
don't even
in
want to
Yeah.
stay at the same hotel where their hotel block is.
Yeah.
It's much easier for us because if there's a problem, we just right there.
Right.
Yeah.
But I understand the not staying. Also, we actually had one where we stayed right above the after party. Our room. Really hard
Yeah.
to work the next day because it's like
Yeah.
really.
I'm trying to go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go to bed.
Because you're
This-
already working so much. You're
Yeah.
working most of that.
Yeah.
whole-
I feel
Yeah.
bad sometimes, but I mean, like, they forget that we've been working, because
Right. For like.
to them,
10
they've been having such a great
hours.
time, and they forget that we've
They
been
think we're
working all
having great
day.
time,
And
too.
Yeah.
I
And
guess
you
we are.
well,
Yeah,
and you
we
guys,
are.
they're seeing you working with your
Right,
camera.
right.
They're not seeing us like that
Mm-mm.
because the day of we're running around, but then during the party, you don't see us working so much.
Yeah.
So they're like, easiest job ever. And she's just hanging out and she's dancing a little. Yeah, because I've been working for
Right,
100 hours.
Yep.
And some people are like, come dance with us. They actually pull
Mm-mm.
us onto the dance floor and
Yeah.
want to dance with us
yeah.
and stuff. But then it's a little bit like, okay, now I should like
Yeah.
go off the dance floor. Or when somebody hits on you, like a
Yeah.
guest or a
Mhm.
dad.
Karis has been hit on before.
I'm sure.
I've been hit on too. Yeah.
Did
Wait, were
somebody
you
squeeze
with
her butt?
her?
They slapped her ass.
Oh,
No, no,
Oh, Dad.
no. Were you with her though?
I was with the
This
bride.
was his wedding. Yep. No, we're doing family photos.
What?
this
He did,
Saturday.
he turned in a family photo?
Yes.
Wait, so you guys were together?
Yeah, yeah. This
Did
was
he
his
know
wedding.
that you were married?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
should.
yeah.
Was he
He's like,
drunk?
oh my, he apologized and he's like, oh my God, I thought you were like friend of my daughter who was the bride.
So that would be appropriate.
That's
That would be
even worse.
appropriate to
That's so
slap your,
appropriate.
your daughter's
Girl's
friends out.
dad.
She didn't tell me
and-
until later. She didn't tell me
No,
so
you
much
were
later.
right there.
I-
I did not tell you. You were there. Everyone
What
saw
are you
it.
saying?
I
you
didn't
would
see
have.
it. I didn't see it.
The groom saw
Are
it.
you saying-
Everyone saw it?
I did not
Are
see
you
it.
saying you would have punched him?
Huh? I don't know. Like,
He would be like, it's okay.
Yeah, the bride
Don't do
came
it
up.
again.
Bride came up and she's like, oh my God, my dad does to like all my friends. So this is like the dad.
I can't even imagine if
That's
my
so
dad
weird.
did.
Yeah.
My
You
dad would
imagine,
never.
right?
I couldn't
your
even
dad is, Hey,
imagine.
what's your name? That's how I say
Don't grab your
hello.
ass.
The bride's mom.
Really?
Yeah, she didn't. She palmed it.
I used to always do that in college to people at bars, but now you
It was
can't
a
do
playful
that.
thing.
Now, imagine with like after now
but
you.
she was grabbing everybody's ass.
That's what the dad was doing.
It just so happened that
you were the one.
I was the first one in her trajectory.
I'm kind of sad. No one grabbed my ass.
Yeah, now you're.
Aw.
Oh, that's what the quietness is. He's jelly.
It was weird. I just like
Yeah.
Do you? Okay, we're gonna make it happen one
Yeah.
time.
Oh, please don't.
I'll go
I'll
up
be
to somebody and be
mortified.
like, "Are you drunk enough? Do you care
You
who's
see that?
ass
You
you
see that
grab?"
photographer over there? Go
Yeah,
grab
go
him.
grab his ass.
They'll be like,
Oh,
"Are you a planner? What kind of planner is this?" Okay.
Yeah.
and she was flirting with me all day too. But
The mom?
The
yeah,
mom?
I thought that's just she was, you know. She was very cheery and
That's so
happy,
funny.
and I didn't think nothing of it. But then
Until she grabbed her ass.
And then wait, what did you do as a man? What did you do?
I just
that's
laughed it
interesting.
Yeah,
off.
what do you-
I laughed
like-
it off. I mean,
You
Right,
like
what
that.
do you, and then what do you do on a wedding?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is
Slap him and
awkward.
walk away,
It's
like-
awkward to be in the position of working
very.
Yeah.
and then having somebody hit on you because
Right.
you are professional,
Right.
but you're also like, heh.
Like, how
But
do I
you
get
want to
out
have
of this?
boundaries
Awkward,
too.
yeah.
I should
Yeah.
turn around. I have a clause in my contract. I can walk out right now.
Right, right. You
Mine
slap
does.
them and
Mine
walk
does
out.
say that actually.
Yeah,
Mine
yeah,
says if I
I'm
feel.
in
Oh,
the
yours
middle
does
of
too.
the dance
Yeah.
floor all the time, you know.
Yeah.
So like, you know, people are dancing with us and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, there
Well,
was
that's one thing.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
different.
I'm not being
Yeah.
harassed, Ben.
Yeah.
Ben,
Yeah.
he's feeling so much
He wants
FOMO
to
right
be-
now
he wants
that
to
he
be
hasn't been hit
harassed,
on.
Then that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get
Dancing with and
Yeah.
slapping,
Yeah,
but having someone come, it's very awkward.
it is super.
It is. Yep.
Yeah, we have a clause,
Yeah.
no
You just
sexual
have- you
harassment
just have
clause,
to
but
ignore,
like
ignore it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yours
I
says
feel
no
like
sexual
no
harassment.
sexual
it
harassment.
happens more to the female
I do.
female
If we-
I
vendors.
don't think
if we-
mine says that.
If we feel threatened,
Don't listen to that, everybody. I don't think mine says that. You can sexually harass me now.
no, but my I have a clause: no sexual harassment, no verbal abuse, no
Uh-huh.
anything. If we feel endangered,
Even
Mine
violence-
says that. Mine
violence,
says
yep.
that.
like,
if
we're
I
not
feel-
there.
There was a wedding where Steve, one of our photographer at our associate brand, he was shooting a wedding, and all these groom and his groomsmen pulled out guns,
No.
guns and weed.
weed and drugs. So he
Wait, was it in Texas or here?
here?
No.
And he literally
They
like
all
called us.
pulled out
He came out.
guns?
He's like, I feel really uncomfortable. Like we're like, what did you tell him?
I told him
Yeah,
go to
here,
another.
Yep. Tell them you're uncomfortable, and if you.
Oh, and then they go, "You're uncomfortable now?"
What? Don't be such a pussy.
Yeah.
You know what we did at the next company meeting? I had some like toy guns and
Yeah,
a bag
of
of
course you did.
oregano. I had a bag of
Oh
like.
my
Oh
God.
my god! But
Hey,
did he
We
work?
pranked him.
Did he work that wedding?
He worked
He's-
that wedding.
So we
Yeah.
kind of told him if you're really uncomfortable, like you could leave.
got, like,
but
you
we
can
should-
leave,
Yeah,
but-
let's tell them like
But
you're
you should
uncomfortable.
tell them you're not
I had-
Tell
comfortable.
them you're
I mean, I-
uncomfortable,
for-
and if they still that.
Was he
they don't
alone?
do-
No,
was-
always two. Always
Oh,
send
okay,
that
okay.
too.
Then
Didn't we have
it-
someone question our harassment, saying like I'm not responsible for my guests or whatever?
Yes.
And I'm like, well, then you kick out your guests. That's still
couple
signing
things-
this. You're
we
responsible
met
for
with
them.
somebody and they read that, and so they told us that they were going to hire another photographer. It didn't work out because this photographer refused to remove that clause.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she was like, so the guy was like, so this person could ruin my day if they interpret
Yes, I've
sexual
had the same
harassment
question.
the wrong
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
So like he basically was saying that sexual harassment is what he deems is sexual harassment, right? His interpretation.
Nope.
And what somebody could interpret as sexual harassment could be
Not
over
not-
exaggerated, right? And because of that, you could leave my wedding. So he met with me and Jen. He told us that, and we are just like, this is not gonna work out.
Right.
Obviously, they didn't book us, but who does that? Who basically like?
That's a man who basically doesn't believe any woman at any level of when they say they've been assaulted. Like it's that kind of guy.
It just sounded horrible. And
but I also have had I've hired bouncers. I've hired security for when we know that there's at least one person there who could start a fight.
Really?
Oh yeah. And
we asked you for the juicy stuff earlier.
Is this couple deciding or are you deciding? Is it couples?
The couples and talking to me about it. And I'm like, I will hire them for them. But they say to me, we have, like I had one where they were like, a few people might get in a fight, so let's hire.
Really?
And then somebody was like, we have sometimes like parents with bad relationships, like divorced parents who have bad obviously it has to be that bad if you're right? If you're considering hiring.
It happens.
For that. But it does happen. And I'm very sensitive to family dynamics, and everyone has very different family dynamics, and some are better than others. And I'm like, whatever it is, we'll work around it. If I know someone is going to feel lonely that day, we're going to give them extra attention. It's so funny because you don't think of a planner like that, but
you're thinking of everything.
Yeah, we're like family mediators too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It falls on us too, because we're the ones doing the family pictures.
Yes. What do you do?
We ask
if
for
somebody's
a list.
like,
no, we ask for a list. You're gonna tell us what combinations to do because we don't know the dynamics, right?
But what
and
if you need to put people together who don't get along?
They'll tell me in advance.
They'll
So
tell
our questionnaire is like,
There'll
what
be
are
an
the
opposite-
family dynamics?
Okay.
Opposite.
And they'll
Definitely,
outline like my parents hate each other. They will not be in photos together. And then they have to give me the exact photo list they want. So that I never wind up putting those people
And
together.
sometimes, I don't know.
Or we do, they're an opposite. And
Yeah, they'll tell me in
And
advance.
also-
Like my parents can be in a photo together, but not next to each other.
Right.
Yes.
And then I'll put them.
And also, a quick tip for our listeners and stuff too, right? Sometimes the parents don't get along, but sometimes the siblings could favor one parent over the other too. Sometimes the siblings don't get along with some of the parents. Because there might have been a falling out too in the separation.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Of course.
I had one time I had asked the photographer to keep someone on the edge because I knew they would be cut out eventually. And they didn't feel comfortable on the day of. And so
The photographer?
I'll be the bad guy.
Yeah, I think it's so important because I wasn't happy as the client that then what am I doing? I'm like, so he did end up photoshopping one of them out, but like it was just not because he didn't feel comfortable. I think you have to feel comfortable. You have to do what is your client needs you to do.
It does make it awkward for that person because they already know if they're in the end, there's a reason why.
You think?
Yeah, they know. People
But
know.
this person in the end
People
was
know.
like boyfriend, girlfriend, or was it like a family member?
It was
It was a husband and wife?
it was a spouse.
Oh, it was a spouse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
But-
that's harder too.
For us, it's always happened with, not like, not that they weren't married, but whoever
been
they were
together a long
there
time?
with, right?
Like
So
their plus one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what do you
plus
right.
one's
Like the
definitely-
siblings that they
I
always
think
know.
you do
But
with
they
them
know.
and without them.
them.
Yes,
Trust
that
me,
needs to
they
happen.
know.
They know,
I have
yeah.
another quick
They
tip
know.
that I do.
Yeah.
I have another quick tip.
They
that
know
I do.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
have another quick
I
tip.
tell them. I'm like, no, I tell them, I'm like, I need to do this.
Yes.
I know you all think they're gonna get married, and I'm very happy for you. But
my
no, I tell them if
God.
there's no ring on it, I need to do this photo. Like,
Well,
I
guess
like
what?
that.
I
There's no
do
ring
that.
on
There's
it.
no ring on the finger. You guys,
that's
you
what I'm
cannot be in
saying.
this
If
photo.
there's no ring on the finger, like all the family think, no, she's a family. But no, I need to do this. Just let me
I
just
joke
do it.
around sometimes. I say, this is the Christmas photo they're gonna send out if you piss them off, and then
Oh my
they laugh.
God.
Right,
They
right,
laugh.
right. Yeah.
But I hope you don't say that at a Jewish wedding.
The holiday photo.
So I do some version of that. Hey, listen, if there's no ring on the finger, you're out of this picture, okay? So that's
Making
one.
them
That's
feel
the easy
even
one.
better about it.
But there's another. Well, I mean, I only do pull it out if I need to, right?
Yes, yes.
But then the other one I do is, hey, listen, guys. For the immediate family photo, sometimes one of the siblings are married and stuff. I was like, listen, I just need to do I call this my Disneyland photo, just the original immediate family.
Original,
Without the
yeah.
spouse.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. I think that
And
was
then
so
you add
good.
it after.
This is for them. Okay.
I would love to have photos with my siblings sometimes
Of course,
without
yep,
anybody
yep.
else. Like,
Yeah.
The
So
OGs. That's what we say.
The
That's what I
OGs,
get.
yes.
This is the
Yes.
combo I'm getting.
The original.
The
I
original.
know, but
and it's not an offense
married
to
spouses
No, it's
get
not.
in. Yeah,
The
married
spouses.
spouses get in, but
Right.
boyfriend needs to be out in one of those.
And
Sorry.
like sometimes the mom or tell us, like, can you put them on the end? Of course.
Right.
And they're telling
Right,
there's
yeah.
a little turmoil there. Cool. It is what
I
it is,
had that
right?
recently,
Yeah.
and then they said they just broke up yesterday.
Yeah.
The
Oh
one
my
that,
that actually made it
the
easier
one
for
that
you.
we did,
Right.
they broke up.
Yeah.
Right,
a
right.
little
They
That
trouble
broke up
happens.
paradise.
That
before.
happens. And they write us, can you remove this person? This is why we took 2.
Right.
We,
And then what about sunglasses in a photo?
Oh
we-
my
I
gosh,
did-
that bothers
I
me
meant-
to no
I
end.
But
meant
what
to
are
take it
these
off.
transitions?
Transitions. Oh my gosh.
I
My
can't
dad
tell
has
you.
this.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you remove?
No.
No, they're
No,
transitions.
right.
But I can't see your beautiful
Right.
eyes. Just
You don't
And
need to
also,
see
you don't
me.
need the glasses on,
Yeah.
even if they're
You don't have to see
transitions.
me.
They
Just
don't
stand
care.
It's
there.
always
Yep.
best to ask them after you put them, after you set up the shot.
Yeah.
Because now
Yes.
everyone's looking at them.
Right, right.
And
The
then
Yeah.
bride's like, just take
all
it
right,
off.
yeah, right.
I'm getting a
'Cause
fake
it-
smile.
Yeah.
Because if you ask them privately, it's not gonna
Yeah,
work.
no, no.
You got to put
I
them on,
do it,
on the
yeah.
Once they're in the
When
shot,
they're-
and sometimes
yeah.
the bride's like,
Yeah,
that's
just
all he
take
ever
it
wears,
off.
and that's what we're
Yeah.
used to, so it's
Yep.
fine. Or they
Right.
like take it off.
That's true.
I call them out.
Yeah.
Glasses
to.
on or off. Sunglasses on or off,
Right.
guys.
And the bride or groom's fine, then keep it
have
on.
to.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Because sometimes it's cool, like if everyone has sunglasses.
Right. That's
Yeah.
one thing. Yeah.
But you got one uncle. Everyone's squinting except for this uncle, right?
Right.
And this uncle's got the shades on.
Yeah.
A while back when we started out, we had a bride because we have in our questionnaire we asked that question: is any like family dynamic that we should be aware of? And she says, "Please call me."
Oh.
And she put her phone number. So Jen calls her, and she starts listing every single person that her mother can't be with. And in my head, I'm like, your mother's the problem. Like, it's,
She shouldn't be there.
There's no way 8 people have beef with your mom, right? Like it's your mom that's the issue.
Yes. Yes.
On the day of, the mom took pictures with every person every combination that she told us not to do.
Yeah.
Her mom.
Yeah,
Did
because
it?
the mom was
Aw.
like, it's your wedding day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the bride was overthinking
Mm.
all
Oh.
these.
Dramatic.
Yeah.
Maybe dreams.
She was just
Yeah.
being cautious,
Yeah.
Okay.
and her
Oh,
mom was
ma-
great the day of. I
yeah.
was like, all right, cool,
Mom,
let's go
Mom
with it.
behaved.
Yeah.
I have PTSD with moms at this point.
Yes,
in
you
my
do.
career.
Yes.
You know,
He has a history.
I receive. She doesn't listen to the
I should get you a
podcast.
shirt. I love moms.
Actually, I have one that says
There's I love hot moms.
I
He's
have,
got
I have-
one.
Yeah. So I can't wear that anymore. I'm
Oh
gonna get
my
me too. You know. So
No,
can't wear
I
that.
think it's funny. Like I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our kids would be mortified.
He wore it on our honeymoon.
No.
You
is
wore
that-
it to our on our
No,
honeymoon.
this is like a newer shirt though.
no.
That's
He
an older
had
shirt.
it.
I
He
have
had
it.
it.
Oh, yeah?
He wore it on the way to our honeymoon. He wore it.
Wait, but you
She
didn't
was
have
not
kids.
We
pregnant.
just got married. Yeah, we just got married. on our way to honeymoon.
Now you could wear it because she's a mom.
Yeah.
Correct. But
Please
her
don't-
kids would be
please
mortified.
don't wear it.
I donated it. I donated the shirt.
Okay.
Because it doesn't fit me anymore.
You donated it. I keep seeing like preteen boys wearing it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh my
hilarious.
god.
Yeah.
donated
what was
it.
I saying?
Yeah.
Inappropriate.
I had a mom that was so angry with me. She wrote such a nasty email that I couldn't even read it. It was the most filthy thing I've ever read. And did you guys read both
Oh, yeah.
emails
No,
or just
no,
the
just
first
the
one?
first
You
one.
the
asked
first
them
one.
multiple times.
Oh, it
you
was
you were
so
supposed to
filthy.
send us the
Yeah.
second one because I want
I
to
don't
read
have
it.
it. I told
Abby
I
has
told
it.
I told my VA, I was like, listen, unless it's an apology,
We
I don't.
asked her and she already archived it. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
But the first one was pretty bad.
Yeah, and that's why also I have a clause where I only work with the couple. There's another wedding planning
Oh, yeah?
company. There's another wedding
Mhm.
plan company out there. We'll name drop them. Wedding Planning Co. They have a clause in there that says the clients are the bride and the groom.
I
or the
changed
couple.
mine to say something. It's not. It doesn't say. It says something similar because sometimes when people get involved, they can change everything.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
their
They can
opinions
change the
come in,
law.
and then
This
just
was
like
not.
too much.
This was not the bride and groom's vision. It was the mom's vision. But the
Okay.
thing was, the things that she was asking for was she was not being realistic about it. I'll give you an
Right.
example. One of her grievances was that we didn't get the daughter-in-law in one of the photos. But the thing is, you gave everyone a timeline and a memo. You gave me multiple memos to make sure that family photo time was at this time. I was there, right? Everyone else was there. Your daughter-in-law was not there, and now it's my fault that you don't have a photo with.
But was it in the list?
Yeah, it was. Well,
It was in the list, but she was not there during the
Oh,
portrait
so
time.
it.
Yeah.
it
And mom was mad that
daughter-in-law was
there's
not
no
in the
photo
photo.
of the daughter.
be mad at the person for not being there.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Exactly.
your daughter-in-law looks like.
Exactly.
I don't know what your daughter-in-law looks like.
She was not there.
That don't you find that to be that's one of the hardest parts for me. It's like trying to help with family photos to try to get people, and I'm like, I don't know who anybody is.
Mhm.
Like I don't
That's
know who
why
you're.
we asked for
Oh, yeah.
names
Mhm.
because we'll
Well,
try and
I say
screen.
I'll do
Yeah,
it, but
that's the only way.
trying to find a person
Yep.
Oh
who
yeah.
went to the bathroom, they're
Yep.
like, go find.
Yep.
Like, you better
I
set another
tell my
relative.
couples, that's on you. Like, you need to take over. I'm not in charge anymore. So I'll do my immediate photo shots and your bridal party shots, but I'm not doing your extended family because you need to have someone, you need to have planner, or you need to have friends, cousins. They need to take charge because I don't know who they
Friends
are.
usually will, or family members.
Yep.
Do you guys have great experiences with bridal parties, wedding parties?
Usually,
I mean, to be honest,
gotten way better.
no wedding parties preferred.
That's the trend.
But,
That's the trend. The smaller wedding parties is the trend.
But yeah, honestly, like I feel like, and the target clients that we get, they're all cool. You know, like no one gives us a hard time anymore. It was early on when we were at a cheaper price point where we dealt with bullshit. But where we are now, it does make it a little bit more work. But we don't deal with assholes or
Are
people.
you dealing? Well, most of her weddings have 0 wedding parties.
Too very few.
Too very few, just a handful. That's just her. That's her niche. Mine's across the board, but usually it's like 6 or 7 or lower. What are you finding?
Yeah, I mean, all over the place. Like some people have none or one, a sibling, or but then I also have like 10 drunk men together.
Yeah.
Or so it really varies.
I don't get the sloppy drunks as much anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
Those are like the very high end, actually.
Yeah.
The sloppy drunks.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to think out, what I'm thinking about now, I think we just know how to handle it better earlier on compared to, I mean, how we handle them now compared to earlier on where we had no clue how to. Yeah. Now it's kind of like when I see them start to unravel, I know I have to do all the wedding party stuff ASAP, before I lose them. Back then, I'll get to it whenever the time allots, and then that's when you have people falling over and acting stupid. But we kind of gauge that now from experience.
I do love a good groom's party though, like everybody.
Where everybody's energetic.
It looks so good.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I haven't seen a sloppy wedding party for 11 years now.
Whoa.
Yeah, like sloppy, like just.
It's been a while for us, a long time.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
We did have like this wedding where they were handing like joints everywhere.
Oh, that's we see that.
Well, it's legal.
He had a vest. He's just like. It was like instead of bullets, it was like joints, and it's just like handing them out.
But not where you could see it in photos, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we
I
shot
took
the whole
pictures
thing.
of the bride taking shotties off her.
We have so
friend,
many
like,
pictures of them smoking.
Yeah.
See, are they going to want that in 30 years to look back at that?
Maybe.
Not saying you as a photographer. I'm saying, like, I guess that's where you go. Do you want timeless? Do you want?
But this is party
fun?
photos.
This is
Do you
party
want?
photo.
Yeah, it was during the reception.
Yeah, it's during the reception.
Like drinking.
During the reception?
It was.
Yeah,
It
okay.
was
It like
requested.
they went to the outside area and just started
It
hanging out.
was requested by the bride. And it's funny because we just hired her. Her friend just hired us, and I brought it up during the engagement session, and that friend was like, "Yeah, I can't do that at my wedding, like because of her family,
Right.
But she was like, "But it was amazing that they did it at their wedding,
Right.
So we are on track right now to be our 4th longest recording.
Yes.
We're gonna have a huge market in Scotch
You guys
Plains.
have meetings, right?
Yeah, have a meeting. I just emailed to push it to 7:30.
Okay.
It's like a 40-minute drive
We have
home.
to wrap up.
Yeah. So this is a really good conversation
Yeah,
because
we talked a lot.
because we've had some long ones. I think this is top 5 today.
Better be number one.
No, you don't want to be number one.
Why?
This guy, he had his he.
No,
this-
not longest, like just best.
Oh,
Yeah. That's
yeah.
different, not longest.
No. The longest one we had was like 3.5 hour recording.
Oh
my
gosh.
Yeah.
And we could only trim it down to like 2.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we recorded for like 4 hours.
It was a long one. He wouldn't stop talking. So
What kind of
DJ.
He's a DJ, yeah.
DJ? Was he an MC?
He does both, right?
He does
Yeah.
both. He
Yeah,
does
he
both,
does both.
We'll
Yeah.
share the name later.
He wouldn't care. He would be so proud that we're talking about him.
He's the-
Fernando.
He takes pride in
Fernando from Blanc Noir. Shout out to him being our longest. He's so proud of it.
He's the Blanc of Blanc Noir.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what are some things that we can learn from the stories that we shared today? Working with planners and or just having a collaboration between planners and photographers and the roles that that planners play as part of the vision for the wedding day. What are some of the things that we learned today?
They should clients should trust their planner. Trust their planner
That
100%.
makes a huge difference.
Yeah. trust that they are giving you their expertise and it's coming from a good place. And I feel like a lot of people can't let go, can't like let go of that control, and they clash with their wedding planner, and like they're there to help. They're not there to bump heads with you. So I feel like if you can let go and be on board, then everything's gonna work out. Everyone's gonna make magic.
Yeah.
On the wedding day. That's one thing that I feel like we should. We try to tell clients all the time, like you should hire a planner. They're like, no, I take so much joy in doing it myself. Cool.
Until they're stressed.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not gonna have that joy on the day of the wedding when everyone's coming to you with their problems.
Oh.
But another part is I always tell people focus on your relationship.
Yeah.
You have other things to talk about
Mm-hmm.
when the wedding has come and gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because if all you're talking about is wedding planning,
What's left after?
they're gonna be like, so let's
What's
now
left?
talk about babies. Like
Yeah.
you can't always have something you need to talk about. You have to be maintaining your relationship.
Yeah. Mhm. Well, Amanda, tell us where people can find you.
Smilingthroughchaos.com.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos is CHAOS.
Who can't spell chaos?
I have to spell it out for a lot of people, so I just do it automatically now. Instagram, Facebook, all of those, same thing, at Smiling Through Chaos.
Look for the
And
dancing queen.
Yes.
dancing all the way, all through life. Hopefully it helps you to be happy. And if you're having a tough day, you just go on Instagram and see a dancing video and hopefully start smiling
It'll
again.
cheer you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Gave a lot of good insight.
Oh yeah, very informative.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
This is
Yeah.
fun.
So fun.
Good energy. You want to
Always.
close out? Or
And-
me?
If anyone wants to send funky socks and
Blankets.
blankets,
Needed blanket.
Good quotes.
You know where to send it. Thank you guys for joining us today. For any highlights, behind the scenes, bloopers, all the good stuff, follow us on Instagram at focus.af. And don't visit our website at focus-af.com because
Hasn't
it
been
needs to
updated.
be redone. Also, coming within the next couple of weeks is our YouTube channel, almost 100% uploaded. And we'll share that info too. On
And
that
also,
note,
and also, if you have stories you'd like to share with us, or rather, if you'd like to someone to be invited to our little podcast here, you can send those inquiries to hello@focus-af.com. By the way, you guys can't invite yourselves, all right? We get so many folks trying to invite themselves onto the podcast. You need to nominate someone that you'd like to come onto this podcast, okay? Yeah, because we don't know how to say no to people. That's why. But in any case, yeah, please do that. We'd love to
awesome.
hear your stories.
Yes. On that note, are you focused AF?
No, I'm not.
he's not.
He's done. He's
I'm
over.
not.
He's ready to go to bed.
I didn't get my nap yet. I didn't get my nap this afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Nap.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios, guys. See you on the next one.
Adios.
Focused AF is a fun, business-focused podcast for wedding creatives.
Co-hosted by award-winning husband and wife wedding photography teams Ben and Karis.
And Jenn Ro, where we help fellow wedding creatives with their sales and marketing.
With laid-back conversations and real talk with some of our most favorite people in the universe.
And with that being said, are you focused AF?
I am Focused AF today.
We are Focused AF.
I think I might be Focused AF.
Welcome to the Focused AF podcast.